Didn't start it too early. Hey everybody, how you doing? Happy Tuesday. Hope you're all doing well. Let me get some room for shit on my desk because I've just realised I put my mouse in the way. Hopefully you can all hear me fine. I was having some audio issues before. Listen. What are you listening for? Are you just randomly listening? Let me get some sound. Get some stuff on the screen and give me some brightness, please. Thank you. Oh, making sure it works. Yeah, I heard it. Don't worry. I'm also trialing, so I'm looking here now quite a lot because I'm trialing. That's my cider bowl. I'm trialing my laptop as my second screen, so it's a little bit different for me. And I've rotated pretty much everything in my room 90 degrees counterclockwise, so you're getting to see me from a different angle. Yeah. Hey, Duckster, how's it going? So yeah, this is a little bit. Where's the? I've not got a bin next to me though now, so I'm gonna have bottle caps all over my desk. Never mind. I'll put that in there though before I cut myself. Yeah, so just trying out a few things. I like this new layout. It gives me room for more shelves, which is good. Yeah, so that's it. I don't really have a lot to say today. It's been a bit of a weird week for me, weird couple of days for me, but I feel good. It's fine. I have to leg it in a couple of hours, so I'll be lurking. Okay, no problem, dude. All right, let's get some drinking on the go because I feel like alcohol tonight. So found one bottle of kiwi and lime cider, which I'm going to drink. I've got to be careful because I've got my really expensive laptop right next to that bottle. So, in fact, I don't trust that at all. It's going over this side. Can go over my phone. I don't mind. And I've got a bottle of Kraken as well. So I'm going to have a couple of shots of neat Kraken. It's cold, so it's nice. So, cheers, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Have I got meetings tomorrow? Actually, I do have a meeting in the afternoon, but not in the morning, so that's good. Cheers, everyone. Oh, that's good stuff. It really is. There we go. Not that the Australians will turn. Oh, right. Is it one of those? You gotta hope that they turn up for the meeting. Yeah, I had a meeting yesterday, sourcing new suppliers for the company I work at, and I've lined up 2 suppliers that we had kind of pre-demo meetings with. So we had some meetings that they could work out what we wanted to see in the demo. I had one of them last week, and I had the other one yesterday. And when I opened the meeting and kind of said who I was and said that we were looking forward to potentially working with them, I spent 10 minutes calling them by the wrong name, calling them by their competitor's name, until they corrected me. It was incredibly embarrassing. So yeah, that was my fun meeting yesterday. So now they know game debug. Yeah, they forgot last night at 3 a.m. Oh, that's nice. Well, now they know who their competitors are, so that's kind of funny. I mean, it looks like they're going to probably get it anyway, judging by their offering. Right, let me just check I've got all my windows and everything set up. I have added tic-tac-toe to the rotation of the games. Debug session tonight. Where is my... Why am I not seeing the desktop? You don't see anything, do you? That's weird. That's weird. What's that about? Oh. Okay, that made no sense whatsoever, but there we go. There it is. It must have been hidden or something. Okay, so I was thinking about this a little bit over the weekend about what to do. No, I haven't done the 50k yet. I'll do that now, actually. As, oh god, this second screen is laggy as hell. Whoa. I'm using a Windows wireless display. It's terrible. Quiz 2. Yeah. Give me chance, man. Give me chance. God damn you. You probably can see just about on the shelf. I don't know if you can see that. Can you see the spikes? Anti-cat spikes. I spent quite a long time on Saturday or Sunday, I can't remember when it was, basically adding spikes to all the flat surfaces I don't want the cats on, which is quite a lot of flat surfaces. Right, let's get the quiz on for you. Jesus, this lag is terrible. I have to annoy as much as... Oh my god, sneeze. Right, I sneezed. I have to have a shot of rum again. Oh yeah, I'm on a bit of a drinking binge at the moment. I don't know what. Actually, I'll sip this one. Otherwise, I won't be able to do anything. Oh, not really too small to see. Yeah, there's just some little plastic spikes. They're kind of cool. They're quite soft, so that the cats, they're not going to hurt themselves on them. But they're annoying enough that they don't. Well, all but one of my cats finds it uncomfortable. One of them just seems to like them. I think it enjoys the massage, but it's very light, that cat, so I don't really care that much. He's not going to knock anything over. I mean, if you cough near her, she'd fall over. To be honest, she's that small. Poison tipped. Okay, what was I saying? Yeah, so I was thinking about the collision on this screen and kind of making some adjustments to make the collision more accurate. But I think I'm going to keep going with the kind of the thought I have, which is just get the game working first. Get the game working from beginning to end. See how much raster time I've got left on each screen, and then start adding new kind of functionality or polish or improvements or whatever it may be. Man, this screen is going dark really quickly. I think I need to look into getting a service remote for it so I can disable that feature, turn it on and off when I want. So yeah, I have added tic-tac-toe into the mix. So you will alternate between Wordle and tic-tac-toe now. I believe Old School Coder is working on Connect 4 as well, so you might have that soon. Actually, before I start, let me tell you about the rest of this week as well. So I'm not going to be streaming on Saturday because I'm going out on Saturday. Just gone out for a meal with some friends. And then, but what I am going to be doing is I'll be streaming on Thursday like normal. And I'll be streaming on Friday. So I'm going to start streaming occasionally. I'll try and manage every Friday, but I'm not guaranteeing that I'll manage every Friday. Ollie Gathor, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing well. These in my life, IRL's friends ruin streams. Yeah, so I'll be trying to do Fridays if possible, but Fridays will always just be PlayStation trophy hunting. So I think what we're gonna play on Friday is going to be Terminator Salvation. Hello back to Germany from the UK, from sunny Stevenage. It has been very sunny today, so cheers. I will drink a rum to that. Please explain. I found if you went outside, that's that scary place where snipers live. There's sometimes other humans there that talk to you, and eventually they like talking to you. It's a very weird experience, but I recommend it. Yeah, it is weird. The graphics are really good, though. I must say, if you go into the outside, the graphics are really good. Like, it's properly ray traced and everything. It's really nice. Yeah, so I'll be streaming on Friday. I'm gonna stream Terminator Salvation. So it's a PS3 game. I was looking through the games that I have and how easy the platinum trophies are, and I think I could do Terminator Salvation in a night. It says like 4 to 8 hours. It's super easy game. Nothing much to it. It's kind of a meh game. There's not a lot. It's not an amazing game or anything. I have played a little bit of it before, I'm sure, but I will. I googled it. It's called Sun. Outside where the pizza guy comes from, yes. Yeah, so we'll play some Terminator Salvation on Saturday. What I want to do is just on Friday, every Friday, and I picked Friday because I don't have work in the morning. I was considering doing Wednesday, but I do have to go into the office on Thursday morning, so it's never a good idea. With Friday, I can kind of extend it if I'm close to kind of completing the game. I can extend it a little bit and go a bit later. So we're going to play that on Friday, and we'll continue to do that every Friday when possible. It won't always be possible, but I'll do my best to play and slowly work through the trophies in this game collection, which is growing immense. In fact, I can show you over there how the shelf is looking now. It's really filling up now, quite a lot. So it's a lot still to go. There's 8,000 games I want to actually get. I've got about 560, so I've got quite a bit to go. So, but we'll try our best to get through some. There's a lot of shit in there as well. I mean, I just noticed that somebody posted on Twitter about the Mel B game that I got today, which is what's it called again? I don't know where it is. It's like a Mel B fitness thing. You get gold trophy for never playing it. I will be playing that at some point, yeah. But yeah, there's a Mel B fitness game which you're supposed to like jump around and stuff. It's supposed to use the camera and the Move controller. So they released it in North America, realized it was a terrible idea, and so they took the Move controller and camera out of the EU version. So on the EU version, all you have to do is tell it how well you did. So it says, how well did you do? And you just tell it you did the best, and then you get the platinum in a couple of minutes. So that'll probably be at some point on the cards just to get an easy platinum. There's also a lot that I already have as well. I have quite a few platinums already, so we won't be playing everything. But there's some games that I've played on PS4 that were also on the PS3, so we may go back and play some of them because some of them stack, so you can get trophies on both. So anyway, that's kind of the plan for Friday night. Just a bit of a chill out, play some games. I think it was kind of fun playing the PlayStation games the other night, but the randomness of it made it a bit difficult to really get into anything. So this way I can at least focus on one game at a time, and we'll just play it until it's fully completed. So the only games that won't be fully completed are games that have online achievements where the servers are shut down. But if there's an online achievement that I can still do, I'll do it. But and I'll try and keep it so they're decent games as well. I'm not going to play absolute trash. I'm not going to play the FIFA games, for instance, despite that probably being the most prevalent game in my collection at the moment. Anyway, let's crack on. So we're going to take a look at the rest of the enemy code tonight. I just want to get things working. So that this get things working is just kind of is going to be my mantra for the rest of the game until we get the game fully playable from beginning to end. So if something feels like it could be polished a little bit more and it's something that may affect performance, it will be left till the end. If it can be polished without affecting performance and it's an easy thing to do, then I'll get shit done exactly. Then I'll take a look at kind of doing it. So that means at the moment, let me show you where we're at with this. Hopefully this all works well. What's that in there? Oh, it's Hayes. Oh, Hayes is streaming. Okay, well, we know we were raiding at the end anyway then. What's he doing? Playing 1988 games. But I haven't said that, so don't be disappearing. He's not playing at the moment. He's playing later when I've finished. All right, let's shrink this down a bit so I can see. There we go. Right. So we're just working on these. So we've got them bouncing around. The collision is, I mean, it's working, but it's not fully accurate. So this is what I mean by the polish. I have some ideas of how we can make it be like almost pixel perfect collision, or at least kind of grid perfect, if you like, so that things do line up on the grid correctly. Whereas at the moment they're a couple of pixels off either way. Mostly bouncing too soon rather than too late. But there are a few places where they hit corners where they're like when they hit the corner of these spikes here where they kind of absorb in a little bit. So first of all, I'm going to turn off this border because it's already making me a bit iffy. I'm going to drink the rest of my rum. I'll have some more of that in a bit. Just put that there. Oh, it's nice, that rum, but it doesn't have to make me make funny noises. Okay, right. So let's have a look. We need to take a look at. Well, first of all, I want to move that increment. So that's probably going to be in the enemies file somewhere. So yeah, there we go. So we've got it's in the update function. Okay, so. And we've got a lot of information in here. I've noticed I've started commenting things a bit more. I think I got to the point where I got kind of sick of having to figure things out every time. So I'm starting to kind of really comment things a bit more, which is nice. What happens when the enemy velocity gets too fast? Could they enter the walls? They would have to be more than 8 pixels. Yeah, they'd have to be more than 8 pixels per frame, which is incredibly fast. I mean, that would be way too much. Actually, no, they'd have to be more because the enemies are 16 by 16 pixels, so they'd have to be 16 pixels a frame, which is like insanely quick. That's going to be way too much. Just had a birthday, and the go-to drink was Captain Morgan Bacardi and honey. That's not a bad drink. Yeah, honey's really nice in cocktails, actually. Yeah, come on, Andy. Write a thank you letter. Who would you, if you were to write a thank you letter? Who would it be to? Who would be the one? But if you absolutely had to write a thank you letter to somebody in your life, who would it be? Yay! Hey, Ledge, welcome, mate. How's it going? Steve Jobs. Oh God. I'm not even going to comment on that. My dad or John Rowlands. Yeah, I think for me it would probably be a Coda C6. It would probably be Trends, actually, Manfred Trends. I mean, it's a toss up between Braybrook, Trends, and John Rowlands. All three of those have kind of inspired me to do quite a lot. But I think Trends was just incredible. The way he managed to kind of squeeze stuff out of the Commodore 64 that made it, an incredible. It felt like an incredible machine. Playing like Turrican and playing R-Type, it felt like an arcade machine. It did not feel like an 8-bit computer anymore. Where's my? Oh my god! Oh, my mouse is terrible in this mode. Your thank you letter would be to Ben Eater. Yeah, Ben Eater's kind of cool as well. I don't watch enough of his videos. I really should. Trent has such a big brain. He's big in photos. What happened to Mel B Fitness Platinum Trophy hunting tonight? So I've just been saying, Ledge, that I looked up the trophy for that game, and you don't even have to do the exercises. In the EU version of the game, you can just tell it how well you did. So it says do these exercises, and instead of using a camera or a move controller, it just says, okay, how well did you do? So I'd just be sat on I'll gladly play that game because I'll be sat on my arse, just saying that I did 100%, 120%. So it's going to be the easiest platinum I think we get that game. All right, let's have a look. So as I say, the collision. Where did that go? Did that close? It did, didn't it? Problem is, I can't see the bottom of my taskbar properly now because of the spikes on the bloody. So I've got a soundbar with touch buttons on the top. It's one of those Sonos Arc or Sonos Beam or whatever it is. Can't remember. It's a soundbar with touch buttons on the top, but the cats sit on it. Disney Sing It, that's not going to happen. Not going to happen. For a start, I don't have the PlayStation mic yet, so I will be getting it, but I'm not going to be using it. That's for sure. Uh, oops. Trying to keep up with stuff. What have I missed? What have I missed? I don't know what I've missed, but there you go. Oh, okay. This is the first tic-tac-toe game. So this is pretty easy. This game, quite simple. The bot is very good, but he's got a 10% chance of making a mistake. So if I didn't put that in, you'd probably never beat him. So this game will just continue until you. Oh, it hangs out at the bottom. Okay. Oh no. Okay, I need to fix the text there. Let me make a note of that. There's a couple of bugs in this one because I just kind of threw it together. I didn't spend much time looking at it, but the instructions overflow. It's weird. I don't know why they overflow. It might be something to do with the font in this browser compared to normal Chrome for some reason. But yeah, tic-tac-toe is pretty easy. You just take it in turns with the AI until one of you wins. You just pick one of the numbers 1 to 9. Oh yeah, there's all sorts of weird stuff going on, isn't there? Okay, I need to address the fonts. So starting fin. Well, there is a 10% chance it will make a mistake. So either you make a mistake or the bot makes a mistake. So you need to do game and then the number again. Yeah, like that, like Steps did there. It's slightly annoying that I need to sort the font issues out. So just keep an eye on that. Font issues. That's what I get for not trying it out properly. I think it's because Andy's got a really long name as well. Just a question about giveaways. So you're getting back to the giveaway competitions. I was thinking of ordering some copies of my game Apeshit and send it to you as a giveaway. That would be really cool. Yeah, we can definitely do that. I haven't got anything planned at the moment. It's been a weird couple of months actually. So, but yeah, we could do something. Let me have a think. When could we do something? Yeah, maybe we'll do something next month. Let me have a little think about how to do what to do on the giveaways, and we'll do something next month. I think we will have some challenges again because I kind of like the challenges. So I'll have a good think about what we can do. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure what it would be, but yeah, I'll have a think. If anybody has got any ideas for a kind of coding challenge, let me know and we can try and implement it. So Disney Sing It Streamlight while I'm there. That's not going to happen, Scott. No way, it's not going to happen. I've got 2 Disney Sing It's actually. I've got Disney Sing It and Disney Sing It pop songs or something. Oh, Cypher could be a good one actually. Some or some encoding challenge or something. Like decoding base 64 or something. That could be a very interesting one. I'm gonna write that down. Like you have to decode some random base 64 strings, and they give you like 20 strings, and you're gonna do it as quickly as you can. Yeah, I'll have a look because I think next month we should be able to do it. This month is going to be a bit tricky, but yeah, just some simple kind of base 64 decoding would be enough. It would be interesting enough that you would have to still do something. You know, the code wouldn't just be completely straightforward, but to implement AES. Oh my god, it can't be too complicated as well, obviously, because yeah, I think a decoding challenge might be quite interesting. Obviously, because there's nine squares as well, it takes it in turns with who starts the game as well. So yeah, it's Andy's name's too long. That's what it is. When Andy's name comes up, the text overflows. Uh, okay, right. So anyway, let's get back to this. So what we need to do now is two things. We need to get the player and the enemies colliding, which I think we'll do first because that's kind of the most common thing we're going to see, and it should be one of the easiest things to do as well. So we'll build that into the enemy class directly as well. Actually, both of these things will be in the enemy class directly. So it's quite simple. If you touch one of these, you die. As simple as that. We've already got them kind of changing directions and stuff when you hit them. That's kind of was just a default behavior, which was we kind of looked into. We're not going to make them bounce off each other yet. Again, that's another polish piece we might add at the end. I don't think it's entirely necessary. I think we can kind of get by without it. So we'll just do the collision at the moment. So at the moment we can go through them. We've got nothing to say that we've collided with it. But if we go back to we can't get back to this screen. But if we were to go back to this screen, you can see that we can collide with the bullets. So what we'll do is we'll use sprite to sprite collision. And what we'll do is we'll wait to see if two sprites collide. And if they do collide, then we'll check their bounding boxes. Which is how we do it with the laser. Now, the thing with that is we need to be careful how we do it because of the multiplexer. So the multiplexer is going to change where the sprites are on the screen at any one time. So we need to be sure that when two sprites collide, they have actually collided and it's not... Actually, that's a really good point. How does that work? I think we need to do a test here, actually. I think we need to do a quick test. Because what I wonder is if two sprites have collided at the top of the screen, up here, and I believe that the collision registers are written to when it's rendered. So if it tries to render two sprites into the same location and the pixels overlap, then it writes in a collision there. So, if we won, but game said tie. Can you clip it, please, and send it back to me? Oh wait, but the game ended. Yeah, if you can clip it, that'd be good. I'll double check it. It's almost certainly going to be a weird logic thing. I wrote this pretty quickly when I was just writing the template for the game, so there's probably a few issues with it here and there. Did it actually give you points? I think it might have given you points still. If the game is closed, but it said... Because the game will only close if one of you wins. So the fact that it said tie could have just been a display bug. I don't know how to check if you got points, though, unfortunately. Because I need to get better login on this thing as well. Do you know what? Because was it the last square by any chance? Was it the very last square? Because it was the last square, it could have been. Yeah. Okay, that's probably what it is then. I think you probably got the points. I'm fairly certain you would have got the points. Right, let me just check this. Yeah, if it's the last square, I think I know why. I think it's because when you fill in the last square, it assumes it's a tie. Whereas what I should be doing is checking for the win first. Did anybody check their points first? Who was playing? Who can tell me if they won? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think that's what it is. I think you probably did get the points, but yeah. Thank you for the clips. I'll tell you what. 4 of you played. I'm going to award everybody in the stream an extra 40,000. So not just the 4 that played, but there you go. That's your reward for bug reporting. Well done, everybody. So yeah, I think it did award the points. It's just that it, but just in case it didn't, you all got 40,000. But I think it was, I think because of the format that it ends up in, Why is it playing it again? Oh, it's just on a loop. Yeah, because of the state that the game ends up in, it probably thinks it's a tie. It's just a terrible check from me there, because the fact that the game ends, so the game disappears. Yeah, so the fact that the game disappears means it has entered the game over state, and it can only enter the game over state if somebody actually wins, which means it must have known that you won. So yeah, that's fine. I'll fix the display bug. Cool. I'm looking forward to seeing it, old school Coda. So the way I've set these up, by the way, is that they will loop around. So once you've played all the games in the collection, it will just start again. The order will be random every time we stream, or every time I restart the overlay. But the games will never repeat themselves until everything's been played. So, okay. So we need to do player to Sprite Collision. So we have kind of got this already in just that one place. I don't think there's any other place where we do that. So, do we even use the hardware sprites? I don't think we do. I don't think we use the hardware collision anywhere. Let me just check what the hardware collision register is, because I can't remember seeing this. And maybe we actually need to use the IRQ for this. It's a good point, actually. Do we need to use the IRQ? Okay, so because there is an interrupt which does this, and the interrupt's probably the right thing to use here, because there is a register which tells us all the things that have collided, but I'm not sure how that gets updated, which is why I was saying we might need to do an experiment. For turrets, yeah, we do on turrets, don't we? That's a good point. Let's go and have a look at the turrets. But I can't remember if we do bounding box collisions. I think we only do bounding box collisions on these. Shoot the turret. Aim the turret. Check remove. No, update. Check the collision versus... Yeah, it looks like... Oh, yeah, it's because it was pretty fast anyway, so we weren't too fussed about it. Maybe this is still an okay way to do it, actually. Because if you've got two enemies on screen, you're only checking against the player. If we do hardware collision, we either have to set an interrupt to detect when two sprites are rendered in the same location, which means it could trigger anywhere on the screen, which could be a performance problem. Or we have to read the collision value at a certain point on the screen, and this is where I said we might need to do a test. The reason I'm saying that is because you've got three sprites, and you say your multiplexer only multiplexes two sprites, right? So you've only got two hardware sprites, but you want to display three on the screen, right? So you could display two, and then you do a split, and then you would repurpose the sprites to display the third. So with the first two sprites, if they overlap, you've got a collision between sprite 0 and sprite 1. But then when this raster happens, this sprite 0 gets reused here, and now sprite 0 is here and sprite 1 is here. Now they're not colliding. So is it based on when you read that value? So like if I read that value after all the sprites have been rendered, will it say that there's no collisions? If I read it before they're rendered, will it say there's no? If I read it between the two, between the splits, will it say that there is a collision? In which case, it's going to be kind of unpredictable because we don't know where we're going to read that value. So I don't think that's a valid way to do it, unless somehow the sprite collision remains until it's read. It sets them as they're drawn and resets when you read. Yeah, but what I'm saying is if you draw sprite 0 and 1 and they collide, right? That means you're going to have bit 0 and 1 set. Right, so let's say this is our register, bit 0 and 1 are set. Then when it goes to draw sprite 0 again in the new location, it's no longer colliding with sprite 1. So does it clear those two registers? Does it just clear bit 0 and leave bit 1 available? I mean, what does it do? So they all stay set. So basically it just keeps ORing the values until you read them. So so no matter how you move the sprites around, it just keeps ORing them together. Okay, right. In that case, we can use that then. Well, we can do it, and if we do get problems, we know where to look. So let's use the hardware collision. Let's have a look where it is in the memory map. It's like D014 or something, I think. No. Well, way off. God, you can tell I don't use this one very often. Sprite to sprite collision residue, so D01E. Okay, so bit expert one, right, enable further detection of sprite to sprite collisions. So let's just read this, because if we just read this and it stays set until we read it, then we're always just getting the previous frame's worth of information. No matter where we read it down the screen, we're going to get the previous frame. So plus sprite for ship isn't in the multiplayer, so that's a good point, actually. Yeah, not that it matters though. I mean, if as long as it doesn't get cleared, we're fine. Yes, I have the Victor. I must admit, I definitely recommend reading that. There's a really good text file. I don't know if that's the one you're on about. It's all done. It looks like it's all done in Notepad, but it's a really, really, really good explanation of the VIC-2 chip, right down to like what order the sprites are fetched in and stuff like that. Very, very good. Actually, if you can find the link for that, Nick, it'd be really useful if you could post that in the chat. Or actually, maybe that's one to post in Discord. We can pin it in the 6502 room, because it is really, 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 really good. Oh yeah, I'm going to give you 5 AMK points for that, Andy. Thank you, because that's really useful information, and it's kind of guided me down the right path here. So well done, thank you. 0.5. You wish you could get 0.5. Yeah, that text file taught me a lot about bad lines. That was how I learned coming back to the C64, because I didn't really know much about bad lines. I mean, I knew that they existed, but I didn't really know how they worked. But that really taught me how they work and what happens on a bad line, and also what happens on a sprite fetch. So, for instance, it's kind of quite common to think that your sprite fetches start at the beginning of a line, but they don't. They start kind of towards the end of the previous line. So the sprites for the next line start getting fetched on the previous line towards the end of it. And the order that they get fetched in is not just 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's like a weird order. I can't remember what it is, but it's a strange order, which is why sometimes you will see in demos they use very specific sprites because of where they're fetched, to avoid kind of glitches and to keep things tighter. Yeah, it would be cool to have it in Discord. I'm going to see if I can find that after the stream. Let me write that down as well. Okay, so let's have a look. So we want to add some sprite collision in. So let's just start by doing the most basic sprite collision. Okay, so we'll do here's all our behaviors. We'll stick it before the behavior routine. Remove screen call, but yeah, we'll do it here, I think. Check player collision. We'll also need to check collision versus the mace as well. Did you find that thing we can't mention? I have no idea what you're on about. Send me a private message so I know what you're on about. Oh, hang on, let me check. Oh my god, I'm so... I might have been drunk. Oh, no, I haven't. Sorry, I wasn't drunk. No, I haven't yet. You should speak to... sorry, I'm pouring a rum anyway. You should speak to the other person, if you know who I mean. I'm not going to say who. Yeah, if you speak to them, they probably know, because I shared it with them. Anyway, cheers. Oh god, look at that. That's a big shot. I'll do this in halves. There we go. Speaking in codes, yeah, it's just yeah, it is something Andy's kind of keeping a little bit secret, so I don't want to spoil it for him. Okay, so check player collision. So this is actually going to be check player and mace collision, because there's going to be 2 types of collision here. There's going to be collision that kills us and collision that kills the enemy. 2 very different types of collision, but we need to check for both, and we may as well do it in the same place. Have you had this run before, Ledge? you've not had that before, I'll get a bottle when you come down, and you can have some with me. Oh, it's really really nice. Just needs to just be cold. You drink it straight, and it's delicious. Although you can drink it with lemonade or Coke as well, but it's nice on its own. Oh, they figured you out, Andy. Yeah, Andy's making C64 Tomb Raider. That would be a good challenge, wouldn't it? All right, so check player and mace collision. So we need to load D01E. So let's just write that this is the collision register. Now, versus the actually, is the mace in a set place as well, or it's always the same place in the multiplexer? But I don't think it's going to be. All right, we'll do check player collision first. Mace is going to be a bit trickier, but we can still kind of utilize this method for. Word. It's just gonna alternate between the two until there's more games in. It's just gonna alternate between the two. I was thinking of one to do, which would be a kind of procedural text adventure. So you have like a randomly generated maze that you have to move through. You have to find a key, open a door, open a chest, kill to find a weapon or something, kill something, and get out. A few different kind of things that could happen, but each person gets one command to do, and you've basically got to complete it in 15 minutes. I thought that'd be a kind of nice one to do, but it's just a bit much for me to do at the moment. But if I get some time, I'll maybe make it. Think a text version of Rogue 64. But nowhere near as in depth as Rogue 64. Still need to play that properly. I've got a copy of it I need to go through. So, okay, so we've got the collision register. So we're just going to check this versus the player. So we know that the player is in Sprite 7, I believe. Let me just double check that. Always in Sprite 7. That never changes. The mace is in the multiplexer, so the mace can be anywhere. So that's why I'm kind of leaving that for now until we get a better idea of where it is going to be. Where's the sprite view? Sprite view, please. God. There we go. That'll do. Yeah, so you see how the player is always slot 7. These could be in other slots. I mean, they just happen to be in these slots because of the multiplexer. But if I had the mace, for instance, these would change positions. You would see them flickering around all over the place. In fact, let me show you that. That's probably a good thing to show you. Maybe we will do it. We'll do it at the same time. Might as well. I'm delaying a lot tonight. I do apologize. I'm a little bit kind of, don't know what the word is. A little bit ADHD tonight. Let's just say that. It's kind of how my week's been, to be honest. If anybody does want to come up with a good way of doing procedural text adventures and has got an idea for an algorithm that would work, let me know and we can turn it into a game pretty simply. Okay, so we're going to start with the mace. Which is going to make the multiplexer go crazy. So you'll see on here, you can see where the sprites are. So you can see at the moment our mace is always in sprite 0, and it's because it's the only multiplex sprite. So these two sprites here are never used. This one is a mask. This is what's used to make it look like we're going behind things. That's why it's black, so we don't see it. It basically just blacks out a part of the character, makes it look like we're going behind stuff. These 6 sprites are multiplexed, and it will always start at sprite 0 and moving down the screen from the top to the bottom. So the topmost sprite will be sprite 0, and then it will go down the screen. So you see, as we come into this screen, you can see that our 3 enemies are up at the top of the screen, and our mace is here, and that's because in order the mace is always in the 4th position. If we start blowing things up, you can see that the mace starts swapping places with the explosions because the explosions happen and then they disappear. But watch what happens as we move up the screen. So if I move to here, now you can see the mace kind of jump in positions. So we can't just trust the position of the mace to always be in the same place. So we have to kind of test that separately. So what we'll do is we'll do the player check first, and then we'll additionally, first of all, we need to check if the player has hit something, because the thing that ends everything is if the player hits something. So if we've hit something with the player, we go and check that first. Then once we've done the player check, we'll do the mace check, which is just checking to see if the mace has killed something. We could check to see if either have been. Can we check to see if either have been? No, because we'd still have to check which one we need to. Two very different tests, right? So let's do them. Let's do them separately then. Let's just start with the player one first, because that's going to be the easy one. I'll leave the mace on though for now. So we're going to score this at. Have we got a collision register? If we haven't, we should make one. In fact, we may already have one. If we have, we don't need to load this. We can just load in the value. So in variables, 0 page, collision, look up collision char x, collision char y, collision point. No, it doesn't look like we do. So we'll create a variable in here called HW collision. It can go in the temporary section. I'm going to put it here. I'm going to call it HW collision, and it's just going to be a single byte. And basically, we're going to read this once per frame. So what we'll do is we'll actually read this in the main loop. So it's always read and it's always there available for everything, not just the enemies. If we need to use it elsewhere, we can use it elsewhere as well. So we'll stick it in game loop and we'll find the main loop, which is here. We'll do it not when the map is scrolling because we don't care. Normal frame. So we'll do it here. It'll be the first thing we do here. And then we need to write to it. If we don't write to it, it won't clear. I think that's correct, isn't it, Andy? So doing a shift like that is the same as kind of writing a value to it. So it's the same trick we use for acknowledging an interrupt. So so read and just read to clear. Okay, so that's enough. Okay, cool. See, you earned your 5 points. Don't need to write. Okay, cool. Okay, so that's stored in hardware collision. So we can go and use that instead. Okay, so what do we need to do? We need to know if this has got the uppermost bit set. Now, the cool thing about this is because we've set the sprite to be sprite 7 for the player, if this value is negative, then the player has hit something. So all we need to do is no player lied. I will put that there. So this is one of the advantages. Always think about this when you're doing things, right? So if you can and you want to check something like this where you've got lots of bits set, like collision, put your player in sprite 7. There's a really good reason to put your player in sprite 7 because it appears on top of all the other sprites as well. But more than that, it's does it appear on top? Or yeah, it's the topmost sprite, isn't it? 7, I think. No, that's not true. No, it's the bottommost sprite actually, because the mask appears on top of it. So yeah, so it's the bottommost sprite. But having it in that position means that checking hardware collision is just a simple branch if plus or branch if minus here. Okay, so this is player collide. Some brightness on the screen. There we go. Have the other half of my ROM. Oh, I missed if you got the Wordle. Did you? I mean, it seems like you guys are getting the Wordle every time. I might have to up it to a 6-letter word, I think. Yeah, I think I might do that. So the next version of Wordle might be 6-letter words instead of 5-letter words. Need to make it harder. You guys are kind of acing it like 90% of the time. Okay. So let's just say if the player is Clyde, let's just kill the player. Let's just do that first. So if we look at, so let's just put an RTS in here. I mean, that'll be down here. Let's call it exit as well. So we've got that, and then we should have kill player in here somewhere. So player, kill player. Okay, so it's just player.kill player. Okay, and can I just do it like that? Player.kill player. I mean, I could just jump to it, but I'm not going to. This is going to jump to the subroutine. Booby, yeah. One time in the last streams we did not. Yeah, I think we need more diff, because the other alternative is drop it down to 4 goes, but 4 is a bit harsh. It's already 1 less. So nice and simple. We're just going to check if the player has hit it, or if something has collided at the same time as the player. For this screen, it actually would be fine, because if the player has hit a sprite at all, then we're dead. Oh no, not necessarily, because we could hit an explosion, so it's not necessarily going to be the player against the enemy. It could be player against the explosion if I move in quickly, or the mask. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. But let's see what happens. I just want to see if the player dies when we do it. So, and then we move on to the next steps. So this is our update, isn't it? And this is huge, this thing, but that's fine. We kind of expect that. We will put something down at the exit. Hopefully there's no jump to exit in here. I don't see anything. Oh, there is a jump to exit here. That's fine. We can check the player collision here. That's absolutely fine to do that. Because we don't expect anything to be remained there. I don't think this update expects anything to stay the same. There's no note. I've started putting notes if we need to reserve any registers. So I think that's fine. Okay, let's give that a try. So hopefully now we should die anytime we hit something. So that will be the mask, that will be an explosion, it will be an enemy. So the next step will be to work out what we've hit, which is basically just going to be comparing the enemies against the player. We will do. Do we? I think if the player is just involved in a collision, I don't think we really need to. Well, I like that. I like the fact it's giving off decals when we hit the stuff. That's kind of cool. Unintentional, but good. Yeah. So if I move quickly into these, no, okay, no, there as well. All right. Huh. Okay. Why is that not killing me then? Okay, so in that case, what I'm going to do, I'm going to use our knowledge of what we have so far to see, first of all, are we getting into this routine at all? So I'm going to do that by incrementing the border, and then I'm going to store the accumulator at. Actually, that doesn't matter, is it? I'll just look that value up. HW collision. So I can do that. So one cool trick you can do is if you're looking up addresses of stuff, you don't have to trace out everything. There's this file. It's not there, is it? Where is it? It's in the bin file somewhere. Oh, it's not compiled. Oh, it's in this one. That's why. Is it that one? Cuts symbols. Yeah. So if you look in here, you mustn't be searching for that file for some reason. You can see there. So this symbol file has all the labels and their addresses. So you can look things up in here if it's on a label. The only time you really need to use a kind of debug print or something is if you're checking stuff that might not be labeled or like in the middle of a block or something. So anyway, 91. So let's have a look at 91 while we're running. So actually, we can do it. Let's try and pause it with the enemy on top. And actually, no, we can do it in the debugger. That's probably the easiest way, isn't it? Yeah, let's put it in the debugger. .91 is this one here. So at the moment it says BD, so it does imply that something has collided, including this sprite here. I guess because what would I be colliding with then? That's actually kind of weird. Okay, let's see what happens when I move into this screen. Still, oh, it's on 6.5 now. Okay, so now it's no longer. Actually, we've not got the mace on. What's going on? Is it not? Did it not build properly or something? Damn, I need the toilet already. So you get for drinking rum. German words, yes. Okay, let's check that. So we know we were getting into that function. That seems right. And we'll just leave that on for a second while we just test that the actual code is working properly, because it didn't look like it was working. It didn't seem to be setting that value correctly anyway. 7E. So it's saying everything is colliding except Sprite 0 and Sprite 1, which makes sense because these two aren't colliding, whereas all of these are in the same location. So you can see that there. So 7E in binary is 0, 111, 111, 0, which means all of these sprites are colliding, but not these two on the outside, which is correct because they're going around each other. So when we move into this screen, we see all sorts of weird stuff, but what we don't see is this go above 3.0, which is what we should be seeing when it comes over us, but not seeing that at all. Actually, that's interesting. So if I move inside here, definitely should be seeing sprite collisions. So we've got sprite touching the enemy here, so you can see the mask. You can see the mask nice and clearly here, but that's not showing up in this at all. So I wonder if the place that we're right. I'm going to turn that border flash because that's driving me insane. I wonder if that hardware collision is working properly. I'm not sure it is, looking at that. Yeah, that bothers me. That bothers me. I don't think it's quite the way Andy was saying, actually. Because we definitely should have seen. Let's do that again. To have to enable it. No, you would have to enable it if you want to use IRQs, but you can see on the previous screen it works. So let me just put it in the debugger again and show you what I mean. So let's make this big. So hopefully you can just about see it's kind of hard to see this, I understand, because I can't really change the text other than make it bigger. So this value here is what we read. We read this once per frame. And apparently reading it clears it. And it kind of looks like it's behaving that way when we first go into this screen. So as I say, you come into this screen and the value is 7E, which is saying that all sprites from 1 to 6 are colliding, sprites 0 and 7 are not. And that's exactly what we're seeing. We're seeing all the sprites gathered up down here, colliding with each other because they're on top of each other. But these two not colliding because they're not on top of each other. And that's exactly what this value is reading out here. However, when we go into this screen, it all kind of goes pear-shaped and doesn't quite work. So we're seeing the value 7030. Let me try and just slow it down a second. So let me put this in place here now. So we see 7030. So that's just to pause it a particular section. Right, okay. So there are two sprites hitting each other. It's these two here. These are sprites 1 and 2 in the upper nibble. So that's sprites 4 and 5, so 3.0. So that is correct. We're seeing 3.0 down here. So let's see when this changes. Okay, it's changed to... oops, why is that not pausing? Let me get it on 7.0. There we go. It's on 7.0 now. So 7-0 implies that this sprite is colliding with them as well. So that's sprites in the upper nibble 1, 2, and 3, right? So 1, 2, and 3 equals 7. So it's saying these three are colliding, which is these two and this one here. But that's not correct. That's not what's colliding at all. The multiplexer is only using those sprites. There isn't any other change in here. So I'm not sure that's correct. Depends when you check it. I think I'm checking it down here somewhere, but I'm only checking it once per frame. So I would expect it to be... the same. No, actually, am I checking it down there? I'm checking it before... Yeah, I'm checking it around here somewhere. So it isn't doing what Andy was. So Andy was under the impression that it would just keep ORing sprite collisions into the previous value until you read it, and then it would clear. But I don't think that's the behavior at all. The weird thing is there's no point where this value would be 7-0 on the screen. If you look, right, that sprite never goes over there. It's always on this side of the screen. It disappears at this point, but that's because the sprites are being set for up here, so... No, it's not empty. This is that sprite. This is a sprite that looks empty. It's not empty. It's just black. That's the problem here. That's why it looks like it's empty. I think we can't rely on it in this way. We'd have to either use an IRQ, an interrupt to trigger when that sprite has collided when a collision happens. But even then, in this case, we've got a value of 7-0, right? If fortunately I can't see what that value. Oh, I could probably do it by rewinding back. In fact, what's our the rest of Y A3? So we're kind of about here at the moment. Yeah, we're about here, and it's saying 7-0 at this point. So it looks like sprite to background. But again, it's 7-0. These sprites are not touching the background, so why can't I see my alerts? What the hell? There we go. Hero Dev, thank you very much once again for the raid. Always appreciate it. Always good to see you as well. Hope you're doing well. Good choice of emotes there, FDAO. Thank you very much. FDAO. I need to work out what that out is. What it is in decimal, or what kernel routine is that? I don't know. It seems like it's up in the file reading area. So, Nexavec, thank you very much. Thank you very much for the raid, Hero Dev. Coming along with 59 people. Wow. Thank you very much. Yeah, well, welcome along, everybody. This is I'm Shalom 50K. This is my channel. We do a bit of a C64 dev on this channel. We're working on at the moment we're working on Cecconoid, which is a game that was released about 2 years ago on Switch, Android, PC, and we're porting it to the C64. It's a fairly faithful recreation. The graphics are pretty much the same. It was done in a kind of 1-bit Spectrum style, and we're kind of keeping that style. Bug in Vice. Oh, interesting. Possibly, but I've rarely seen a bug in Vice. I would be very dubious that it was a problem in Vice. Sorry, discussing the thing. But yeah, I'm Challenge 64. We do C64 dev. We do 6502 assembly. Sometimes we do a little bit of Game Boy. It's been a while since I did that, though. We finished the game, which is actually that one there on the shelf. Game Boy Color.cosmos. Go and buy it now. Doubt it. Shan, not 64. What are you on about? Too drunk to know his own name. Shannon, what? So what? Shannon 50k. Is that what I said? Oh god, yeah. I'm drinking rum at the moment, so I'm gonna have another rum. So for those who haven't been on the stream before, I do drink quite a lot on the stream. It sometimes helps me code, sometimes not. It's not really helping me tonight. It's kind of hindering me, if anything. But there's been nights when we've had a bit of code, a bit of alcohol, and it's kind of helped Somewhat. I mean, I don't do maths very well when I'm drunk, that's for sure. But it certainly it has helped in the past. Maybe more so than it is doing tonight. Let me just get the right screens up on here. I've got completely the wrong set of screens up. There we go. That's better. Let's see what's going on now. But yeah, Hero Dev, what have you been doing? What have you been doing tonight? What have you been up to? Oh, definitely. If you haven't had crack and rum, go and get some. It's bloody delicious. Right, okay, I've got the right screens up now. Follow. Limpid K Zonix, thank you very much for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing well on this lovely, glorious Tuesday evening. Or just get crack. Shaders, yeah, probably shaders, I'd imagine. 64 colours, or is even use 64 kilobytes? Yeah, 64 kilobytes around. We had 16 colours. Although some people will have you believe there are thousands of colours that we can have, but there's not. There's 16. There's some tricks we can use to interlace colours and probably get up to around about 200, I think, is the kind of consensus among kind of demo coders. That through kind of CRT bleed and Luma bleed and stuff, you can get up to about 200 colours, perceived colours, using the 16 just by some kind of mixing techniques. Nexavec, thank you very much for the follow. Welcome to the stream. All brown. Come on, Andy. Come on, Andy. You know better than that. The ZX Spectrum crowd like to call the C64 out for having lots of shades of brown. And it's simply because we have an orange, we have a red, and we have a brown. But they're all quite muted. They're quite pastel colours. So people think that they're kind of brown. And I think it's just because with the ZX Spectrum, your eyes bleed every time you see color on the ZX Spectrum because it's in your face neon colors. So they're used to so much saturation that they can't see anything else but brown when they look away from the ZX Spectrum. Everything is grey and brown to them. So that's the way it works. Right, okay, let's give this a go. I'm not sure this is going to work for us, this collision stuff, because the thing is as I say, let's go back to this again. Let me make this bigger. We're reading D01E, right, which is our collision resistance, and we can see that it should be up here somewhere. Actually, is it on this? No, do I have to click it? D01E at this point is 30. Okay, so D01E at this point is reading correctly. But we have to read it once per frame. We need to know what's collided. So either we read it all the time, in which case it's going to change as we move down the screen, and we need to pick the perfect time to read it, which is probably going to be when we're on the player, when the player, when the raster's at the player position. That's when we really need to read it. Or we need to store it if the value stacks on top of itself. So I love that we're digging up platform wars from 90 years ago. Yes. Great for farming simulators. Yeah. Actually, yes, we've got very good greens on the C64 as well. I always think the green palette is quite nice, actually. We've got a good green that's not too neon, again, like the Spectrum, which has two shades of green. It has neon green and not so neon green, but still neon green. If I could code this tune, would make me code like a lunatic. Yeah. This is a tune. This is probably the best Sid tune ever made, I think. It does not sound like Sid music. In fact, I'm going to turn it up slightly. It's just incredible. Okay, I'm going to fall back to comparing these enemies against the player. I don't trust the hardware register at the moment because I don't know where I can read it and get a safe value. Neon green, but not so neon green, but still neon green. Gonna be the new Google Pixel phone color. Yeah, what is mine actually? Mine's like I think they said like midnight grey or some crap like that. What they mean is grey, but they call it like midnight grey or something. In fact, it's not going to show on cameras. It's just going to look black, but you can probably see it there. I can't remember what they called it, but it's not grey. This tune is incredible. It is honestly a work of art. I don't even know how they managed to do it. It's just so good. I mean, I get that it's a lot of samples, but it's good samples. Is that a Pixel? Yeah, it's a Pixel 6 Pro. Yeah, I'm not massively happy with it. I mean, it's all right, but it's got a few software issues. So, okay, so I'm just bopping to the music. I can tell I've been drinking tonight. God damn it! You know, I just assumed I have no meetings tomorrow. I might have one at like 9 o'clock. I hope not. Oh, Akmathin, how dare you! How dare you! That's like the worst tune in the world as well. I'm going to bring up my thing so I can cancel it when it comes on because that's going to get all of about 3 seconds worth of play, and then I'm going to turn it off. All right, I'm seriously distracted from this tonight. Okay, okay. I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're gonna use the rewind function. So one of the good things about the debugger is you've got this kind of rewind function, so you can kind of move things back, and you'll see as we move things back. So this is our raster Y position here, and you can see like where it's reading, and as we move. Actually, it's because I've got it stuck. If I turn that off, hang on. There we go. As I move, actually no. Shit, we can't do. It doesn't rewind through the code. It rewinds frames. That's the problem, I think. Yeah, it's rewinding frames. Sorry, I'm going to turn it back down again because nothing deserves the volume of that last one. Is there a list of SID tunes we can get? Yes, so anything from Deep Sid Accordion HCSV collection. It's about HVSC, yeah. It's about I think it's like one version out of date. I have to update it manually. But if you just do a search on there, find the tune that you want, and if you put kind of the last bit of the path in, so everything after the first slash, basically, if you just search for that, then it will find it really easily. Right. Okay. So I think we should just go ahead and do the collision check. We can always add the hardware collision check as a polish step later, right? Which will just be a performance enhancement. So we can just do the kind of brute force approach, which is check every enemy against the player, and then do the. Yeah. Okay. Let's do that. Yeah. Let's do that. In fact, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to leave you with the SIDS. I'm going to leave you with the quiz. It's 15 minutes. That's fine. I'm going to go and take a quick break because I really do need to rush to the toilet. All this alcohol is going right through me. To be a little bit crude, but it is. I shall leave you with the quiz and stuff. So there's a little C64 quiz. Well, actually, it's a retro quiz. So if you know the screenshot, just take a look at everybody else what they're doing. I can't remember the exact command for it, but you can type a command in. I think it's quiz to guess. Oh my god, I'm skipping this one though. Sorry. Oh, you got the right one. Still skipping it though. I'm sick of hearing it. There we go. It's not. It wasn't the wrong one. Yeah. Okay, so you'll see there's a quiz and a race that you can play for those who haven't been here before. So I'll be back in about 5 minutes, guys. I'll be as quick as I can. Be right back. Right, I am back. Quiz. All right, let's get cracking because we've done almost no code tonight. So what we're going to do is we're just going to do the brute force approach. We're just going to assume that there's no hardware collision for now. We'll come back to this. I'll put a to do on it actually, and then I can pick it up later. Oh, let me just get my windows. I've got my windows all messed up here again. There we go. That's the right window. And a little bit of info up here as well. Okay. Okay. Let's take a look. We have got. Oh God! Somebody put this on again, didn't they? All right, I need to turn this off. This fucking tune, Jesus! You guys do it on purpose. Who put it on? Who should be punished? Not again. First time. Yes, it is the first time. I did skip the good one. I'm sick of hearing that tune, whether it's in tune or out of tune. I don't care. So we'll start by setting up some aliases in here. Oh, what's this tune? This is good. Well, I like this. What's this tune? Manic Mansion. Should know that, but for some reason I don't. Okay, so we'll set some aliases up. So the reason we're going to use aliases is because we're going to use the gtemp variables for this. So we're going to have we're going to do player half x. We'll use gtemp1 and we'll do player half y. So the reason we need to store these in temps is because we're going to use them more than once. So we're going to, first of all, we're going to grab those. Let's put all of this in. Actually, let's keep that. We need that. All right. God, there's some really good games with music. Good music on C64 games. The Sid is amazing. It's a shame. It's a shame. Music synthesizer chips moved on so quickly, because I would have loved to have seen what a kind of evolution of the Sid would do. Like 8-channel SIDs, that sort of thing would have been brilliant. Okay. Right. So that's the first thing we need to do. Actually, we don't need player half y. We only need player y. The reason why we take player half x is because it's a 9-bit value. So for simplicity of kind of the calculation, we'll use the half value. It means that the collision will be 2 pixels rather than 1 pixels wide. The accuracy of the collision will be rather than 1 pixel, it'll be 2 pixels wide. But it makes the collision checks way easier to do. So we need to grab the player position. Now the player position should be stored in here somewhere. We've got player X and player Y. Now there'll be a fractional value, and then there'll be the full value here. So we want player X and Y +1, and for the MSB we need +2 on the X. So we'll start by doing the X, because that's the difficult one. This is probably something we can calculate once per frame and store somewhere, but for now we'll do it like this. When I come to optimize it, we might do that. So we're going to grab player X +2, which is our MSB, and we're going to roll. We're going to shift this to. No. I've just let the cats in, and the first thing he's doing is chewing a HDMI lead. Oi, excuse me. That is not for you to chew. As much as you might like the chewing bits of it, it's not for you to eat. No, and neither is that. That's a USB lead. Okay, so we're going to take that MSB and we're going to shift that. So we need to shift it to the right, which is going to take any 9th bit and put it in the carry flag. So we're going to shift that to the right. So let me get the brightness on my screen back up. There we go. And then we're going to take the value that's in the LSB, and we're going to roll this to the right. And what that's going to do, it's going to half the LSB value, but it's going to include the 9th bit. So this is essentially rolling a 16-bit value 1 to the right, which means that the 8-bit value that we're left in the lower byte, the LSB, is going to be half of the X value, because the X value was 9 bits. We're shifting it so it becomes 8 bits. So this is now the half X. So we're going to store that in player half X. Okay, and really player Y, actually we probably don't need the temp here, but I am going to store it. I am going to grab it and store it because we're going to waste, well, let's have a look, right? So we're loading this value from here. So this is going to be 4 cycles to load this value. And then it's going to be three cycles to store this value at this location. So we're using 7 cycles here. But now, every time we read this value, it's 3 instead of 4. So on this particular screen, it's probably not going to make any difference. But on screens with lots of enemies, that might actually save us a few cycles, especially if we need to start adding things and using this more than once in a loop. So let's go say grab and store player location. Okay, so now we know where the player is. The player itself is in the middle of this sprite. So really, we probably should be doing a little bit of adjustment to these values here as well. However, I'm going to see what happens if we just go off. I've got another message here. What's this one? Oh, okay. Do we need to actually do that? Let me have a look. Let's just have a look. I think it is bang in the middle of the sprite. In fact, we can look at the sprite rather than let's have actually that's not the sprite. That's the character set. This is the sprite set. Okay, so if we just open our base sprites, in-game base, right, there we go. Yeah, our player is kind of in the middle. So in order for us to do this calculation properly, we'll have to make sure we account for this. Now, I'm not going to do the accounting for it here. We could adjust these values so that we basically do the equivalent of shifting it to this top corner, but we don't need to do that. What we're going to do is we're going to take our player X value. So let's say player X is PX, and we'll just ignore the fact that it's half now, and we're going to subtract the enemy X from it. So that's going to give us a value from 0 to 255. Let's just assume that both of these values are in the same kind of a coordinate space here. So they're both in 0 to 255. If the two sprites have overlapped, so if two 16 by 16 rectangles have overlapped and these both are 16 by 16 rectangles, then what we'll get is a value between minus 15 up to positive 15. Anything outside of this range means these two haven't collided. So what we do is we first check we actually do it on the Y first. And the reason we check the Y is because the Y is smaller, because there is less height than there is width. There's more chance that things have collided on the Y. So we do that first so that we can detect and get out of the collision quicker if they haven't collided. King's Howl 17, thank you very much for the follow. And thank you, Azriel, for the follow as well. I missed that one. Thank you very much. Welcome to the stream, guys. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're enjoying Tuesday as much as I am. I'm really kind of getting quite deep into the alcohol, which is really bad for a Tuesday night, especially as soon as we're only an hour and a half into the stream. We've got another 2 hours to go yet. Do I care? No, I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. And why should I, right? It was you thank a bot. Oh, okay. I thanked a bot. Well, it followed. I mean, nice of it to follow. All you see is sets of 4 old school. Jesus cares. No, he doesn't. Jesus doesn't care. Jesus was a drunk. He drank wine. He drank a lot of wine, for God's sake. Or did he drink wine? Or no, we drink wine to remember Jesus' blood or some shit like that. Sorry if you're religious. I'm not very religious, so I'm not very good at remembering these things. So I think Jesus... No, they didn't they drink wine at the Last Supper as well? And then that became why they drink wine now to represent Jesus. I don't know. Yeah, he turned water into wine. I mean, who does that if not an alcoholic? Who didn't really exist like Harry Potter. Wait, Harry Potter's not real? I thought Harry Potter was real. God damn it. I don't know what to believe anymore. Anyway, I won't get into that. I'm not going to force my agnosticism onto you all, so because I'm sure some people are religious and probably didn't like what I just said. So I do apologise to them. I don't mean any harm by it. So yeah, if we've got two rectangles which are overlapping, then the distance between them will the kind of the vertical distance between two overlapping rectangles will be either -15 or +15 or somewhere in between those values. So the easiest way to deal with this this check is to subtract these two values and then add the width times 2 -2. So what this does is this basically changes this value from -15 to 15 from to 0 to 30, which is a lot easier to check because now all we have to do is we just have to do a check against this number. Now we can simplify this even further, right? If we don't care too much about accuracy, which we don't, we can get rid of the -2. If we get rid of the -2, this becomes 0 to 32. So then if we check against the value 32, we can actually check if a value is less than 32. So it means we're now checking less than 32. So now it means we're checking a value from 0 to 31, which is actually very close to what we wanted, right? So this is close enough for us to do the check that we want. And it means we don't have to do a weird kind of... we don't have to do any weird kind of comparisons where we check a negative number and then check a positive number. We're just checking the upper bounds. So it seems like there's a lot going on here, but it's not that bad. But the advantage is what we can do is we can also take the player Y and we can shift this even more, right? So we know that actually the player Y should be player Y plus... Where is it? No, wrong one again. God damn it. All right. Player 1 plus 3 in the Y or 4 in the X. So in this case, it's player 1 plus 3. But obviously, we don't want to do this calculation here because that means we'd have to do it here. And it's an additional addition here. Instead, what we can do is we can change this, right? So now if this sprite is +3 to both sides of this, because we're changing this formula, we need to add +3 to both sides of this. Now we get this. So now if the value is between -12 and +18, then we know we're right. So now what we do is instead of adding plus width times 2, we would change this to plus width times 2 plus 3, and this -3, because if we add 3 on this side, we need to take away 3 on this side, and this still becomes 0 to 32, but now it's cancelling out this thing here. So I think that's kind of... I mean, I'm trying hard to explain this while I'm quite drunk, but let me check what's going on in the chat. Just waiting at the pearly gates with a red card. I want to make it clear, right? I know I'm going off on a tangent here. I want to make it clear. I'm agnostic, right? I'm not atheist. I'm not arrogant enough to believe that there is no God. I just will believe it if it's proven to me. Prove to me there's a God, and I will believe it. That's what I say. And I don't care who that God is. I don't care what his name is, his, her, its name is. I don't care. Prove to me that one exists, and I believe it. That's why I'm agnostic, not atheist. At the same time, I think religion has an important part in life. Religion teaches people morals. It teaches people to be good. It gives people a code of conduct, and I believe that's a good thing. Personally, I don't need faith. I don't need a religion to have a moral code of conduct. I believe that, you know, the life I lead and the people I kind of mix with are enough for me to kind of understand the difference between right and wrong. I don't need religion to do that for me, but I understand why people have that, and I understand that it's not just about a code of conduct. It's about having some kind of community and support as well. So having faith is like having a community and a kind of support kind of network without necessarily having other people. You just have this faith in a being that has, looks over you. So yeah, I that's why I believe it. I completely agree with religion. I think it's a good thing. It's just not for me. I don't have faith in something that I can't see. I'm a scientist at the end of the day. Prove it to me, and I'll gladly accept it. But until it's proven to me, no, sorry, I'm not gonna accept it. Um, yeah, yeah. There's a lot of that in the Bible as well. I think that's the problem as well. I think people take the Bible as and to use the kind of correct term here, gospel. Um, I don't think it should be taken like that. It's a series of kind of things that are just meant to make you kind of question morality, your morals, um, and the way you live your life and what's right and wrong. I don't think you're supposed to kind of read every bit and take it for its word. Um, Unfortunately, some people do, and I think that's where we get extremism from in all forms of religion. So anyway, let's not get into religion. Religion, politics, money. The three things you should never really talk about. And yeah, we're talking we're talking religion. So let's not do that. Let's preach tolerance by threatening you with pain of death if you don't subscribe to my view. Yes, exactly. uh, Oh, thank you for the bits. I didn't say thank you for that. I don't think. Well, no one turned up yet. I need to set Warlock on them. Yes, I think I did read that. I don't know if I read it out loud, but thank you very much for the bits, Andy. Appreciate it as ever. Okay, so this is what we need to do. We need to do a loop that goes through each enemy and does this kind of calculation. I'm going to delete this from here because it doesn't really make much sense on its own, but that's basically what we're going to do. So we're going to use the Y register. It's just a habit now, really, to use the Y register to go through things. We're going to work backwards through the enemy list just because it's going to be faster, ever so slightly, and this needs to be as performant as possible. We're going to use the value in next. Which is going to be the last one plus one. So this is not the one we want to use. We want to decrease straight away. So that's what we're going to do. The first part of our loop is going to do the decrement. So we'll load that value and then do the decrement and then do the comparison. So our loop is going to be here. And the very first thing we're going to do is to decrease y. And we're going to compare that value straight away to see if it's negative. If it's negative, we go to exit. Well, we'll call it exit loop. I think that's fine. What game have you got at the moment? Tic-tac-toe. All right, I'm intrigued to see how this works. Boris will have found a way to take it away before he even saw a penny of it. What are we on about now? As long as you... oh, I need to read this. Let's sip on my rum while I drink while I read this. Wait, morals? I thought it was written to get allowance to murder non-believers. I like money, but politicians take it away from me. Yeah, as long as you follow the religion of Commodore and not the heathen Atari, everything is fine. That's correct, Eldritch. Well done. Plus 100 AMK points to... No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not that drunk. Not yet. Thought you get Wordle. No, it's going to alternate between the two. People really do like the Wordle, don't they? There's a really good version of Wordle called Cecconoid. I'll see if I can. I'll spell it in the chat. You'll have to go and search for it yourself. Where you get 21 guesses to guess. I think it's 10 or 8 or 10. Cecconoid. I don't know how many it is actually. But you get to guess. So you type a word in, and it guesses on all the puzzles. It's like doing multiple Wordles at the same time, and you have to kind of work out which one to go for. Now, it's actually quite hard. It's quite difficult, but it's a lot of fun. If you like Wordle, it's definitely worth just having a go at it because you have to do loads at the same time. So. Okay, right. Let's carry on. If anybody has any ideas for what platinum trophies I should do next on stream after Terminator Salvation, let me know. It's probably going to be Order 1886 after that, but I'm up for anything if anybody wants to suggest one. So, Asteroids Playroom. How easy is that one? I've not tried that one yet. Assume it's not too bad because it's only short. It is a challenge. Oh, okay. Wait, is Astro's Playroom the PS4 or the PS5 one? I can never remember which is which. Because there's one on PS4, isn't there? Which needs the camera, if I remember. And then the PS4 one is the one where you've got all the robots in the controller, and you have to. It was like a weird kind of. And the PS5 one is like the platformer game, isn't it? Which I never finished. PS5. All right, maybe I will. Maybe I will do that. Okay, so this is our basic loop. We'll leave that there. Okay, right. So what do we need to do in this loop? Okay, so we've decreased the Y. We've done the branch. Let's do the end of the loop here as well. So I'll put a bra in here. I know this isn't a command, but I just know that that's what I want to do at the end. I will work out which branch I need to do to make this work. For now, I'll just use bra, which will throw an error. But then I can figure out which one to use when we get to it. Okay. So, what do we need to do? Okay, so we need to grab the enemy, and we need to half the x of the enemy. So we need to do this. Grab this value here, and we need to half it. So we need to do exactly. Oh, actually, x pos frac. Oh yeah, no. So we need to grab it x MSB. All right. So we need to do the same calculation we did up at the top. We need to do it with the enemy. So here. Okay. So we're going to load. Oops. Oh my god, what am I doing here? Ooh. Okay, the alcohol's kicking in quite a bit now. Endless game. So the AI will make a mistake eventually. So what will happen is the AI gets given the perfect move every go. It knows what the perfect move is, but before it makes it, there's a 1 in 10 chance that it will pick the wrong slot. Oh, new bug. Make a clip of it if there's a new bug, please, so I can check it and let me know what it is. Will you also be given the perfect move? You should be able to work out the perfect move. It's actually quite easy for humans to work out. Yeah, if the game ends in a tie, it will just keep restarting until one of you wins. Retarded. Excellent. Yeah, that's perfectly normal. So it will keep. So basically, the game is kind of going to work, as in it's going to continue until one of you makes a mistake, and when one of you makes a mistake, then you will probably win. So yeah, so it's not made a mistake here. I take no credit for this AI. This AI is a well-known algorithm called the min-max algorithm, which basically scores every position on the grid that it can go, and picks the best position based on that. So I don't take any credit for that, but it is fairly unbeatable. So I put a 10% chance in. So what happens is it knows what the perfect move is, but if it rolls a 1 out of 10, for instance, if it rolls a d10 and gets a 1, then it just picks a square at random. So there is still a chance it will pick the right square, but when it makes a mistake, but it is purely random when it gets to that point. And it's 1 in 10, which means you should be able to go through 1 or 2 games without it making a mistake. It could happen in the first game, it could take 2 games, but after 2 games, it should have made a mistake. Right, okay, so we're going to take that value, we're going to do the same again, we're going to shift it to the right, then we're going to take the value in xpos, and we're going to shift this to the right using roll. So again, roll is going to bring the carry flag over. So now we've got a value in the accumulator, which is half of the enemy position. So now what we can do is we can subtract. Actually, do I need to do that? If I roll, will the carry flag? Yes, it could be set. Okay, could be set, could be clear. It doesn't matter. So we do need to do that. So this is where we need to subtract player half x here. So now the value in the accumulator is the enemy position. So it's actually enemy position minus player position, but it doesn't matter which way around you do it. The point is the value will be from -15 to to plus 15. So in that case, if we subtract the player position, we actually want the player position to be plus 3. So we're actually going to subtract another 3 from this. So in order to do that, what we do is we don't subtract 3. Instead, we just add our player width. So our width is let's put in enemy default width, and we'll put this at the top of this file. It's a constant, but we'll put it at the top of this one. But we want to add the default width. So this is subtracting. So if we were subtracting an extra 3, we would need to add an extra 3. So if we subtract, what is it on the X? Oh, we're doing X first, but we should be doing Y first. But it's all right. We'll do X and then we'll put the Y before it. So X is 4. Okay. So normally we would do this, right? So we would subtract 4 from it and then add the width here. But in order to do this, we don't know if this is actually cleared the carry bit, so we'd have to do this, which is no good. Because then we need to make sure we clear the carry bit here when we add this, and that's just going to that's an extra 2 cycles we don't need. So instead of doing this, what we're going to do instead is we're going to add it onto this one. So if we subtract a value from this, then we need to add extra onto here instead of doing that. So if we do plus 4, which is our, let's call this player X pad. Okay, so we need to go and set these values up at the top, which is going to be constants. So our enemy width is always going to be 16. We're going to treat everything as 16. If it's not 16, then we'll grab that value probably from in here somewhere. But we'll assume for now that all the default widths are 16. I'm not doing C, so I don't need a semicolon. Player pad X equals 4, which is just our X pattern. So this is how far we are away from the edge on the X here, which is 4 pixels. Why is GIMP opening? What the hell? Oh my god, I'm so drunk. I'm pressing all sorts of buttons that I don't even realize. But this is what I mean. I can still do this shit when I'm drunk. I don't know how I'm doing this. But yeah, see, simple things like finding the code that I was just working on, impossible. But doing the calculation, not a problem. Okay, so what have we got here? We've got a set carry flag at the beginning. We subtract. This could set the flag either way. If it turns into a minus number, it's going to clear the flag. So we have to do a clear here anyway to do the add. I mean, you could argue you could get rid of these and you lose a bit of precision at the cost of 4 cycles, but I mean, it's not that bad. I bet by midnight the eye patch is out again. I never had an eye patch. I needed one, but I didn't have one. Let's have some more rum, though. Cheers, everyone. Oh, you got the 10k bit badge. I think I added some... I can't remember, but I think I added some emotes for those people who cheered. Let me have a look. There are some like cheer badges as well. Can't remember what they're for though. I think they're they're not the animated ones. Maybe I didn't add them yet, but I definitely was on a mission to do that at some point. So just keep your eye out. You may get some extra emotes if you cheer. I know there are some. Oh, I think it's badges in front of your name. I think I can't remember. I don't know. Whatever. Thanks, Nicomo, for the bits. Appreciate it as ever. Oh, a boost train. What's that? What's a boost train? Is that hype train? Can you do it one more time? Oh, hype train meets boost. Hype train starts when multiple people subscribe use bits. A boost train provides a new reward for creators. As its support level increases, the stream gets boosted to more potential new viewers. Oh, that's kind of cool. That must be a new feature then. That's new. I've not seen that before. Well, no, this is actually beneficial. So the thing with Hype Train is really it's only beneficial to Twitch, right? I mean, obviously, if you subscribe and you cheer, you do anything that ends up giving Twitch money, I get some money as well. So obviously, it's beneficial to me. But this sounds like a new thing. This sounds like what they're doing is Hype Train is now being changed to Boost Train, which actually boosts your rankings, which could actually bring you to the front page. So it could actually, that's kind of cool. I like that. I guess it's to try and make streamers beg for fucking cheers and bits and stuff, but a lot of people don't like. Yeah, because I think it's probably going to promote people begging for bits and stuff. Yeah, it is. It's kind of because what you're going to get is you're going to get the really shitty streamers like the and hello Sean, by the way, you were lurking there. You're going to get the really shitty streamers that do nothing but the kind of the beg for kind of beer donations and stuff. They're going to be like incentivized to carry on doing that, because the more they do that, the more they're going to move up the rankings, which is going to get them more viewers. And so, oh, you said hello. Oh god, I'm miles away. Sorry, Alex got lost. Welcome. Thank you for the gift sub as well, Nicomo. Sorry, not Nicomo. Andy. Let's read the one underneath then. You said hello, but I missed it. Oh, there you go. You said it up there. Evening. Well, oh god, I'm drunk already, Sean. I'm drunk, so don't mind me. Somebody said today, I don't know who it was. Oh, it's Flame on Twitter. Said I sounded like the Smith in Elden Ring, which, well, he said I reminded them. The Smith in Elden Ring reminded him of me, and I said I hope I really. By the way, it wasn't me saying please gift subs to me, but I mean thank you very much, Dogster. But yeah, I really don't want to feel like I've just begged you all to do that, because I haven't. But thank you very much, Dogster. Appreciate it as ever. Thank you very much for the gift sub to Pixel Paish, Reapy Cheap, C64 Mark, Zarfax, and Mr. G. Thank you very much. Yeah, so there we go, Boost Train. Okay, I guess it's kind of all right for streamers like us, which don't really have the viewer counts to kind of make it up the ranks. Oh my god, everybody's at it now. You're all mad. Thank you, Gareth, for the bits as well. 150 bits. Thank you very, very much. Thank you, ClickTech Kev, for the resub as well. I was watching. What was I? I was watching one of your videos the other day. Oh, it was the Dyson one. I was watching. I randomly came across your Dyson red light video. Was it red light? I can't remember what it was. It was a Dyson repair video. I came across that and I just randomly started watching. Well, hang on. I know this guy. I know who this is. And thank you, Retro, for the bits as well. Take my money. I will do. Oh, what's that? Help Shannon 50k. Yeah, Dyson red light. Yeah. I really like that sort of stuff. I'm really into kind of consumer kind of electronics repairs and consumer kind of device repair, because I think it's something there isn't enough of out there. How much have I had to drink tonight? I don't know. I've had a couple of shots of Kraken and a bottle of cider. So yeah, it just got suggested in my stream. I was looking through some videos and it just cropped up in my stream and I ended up watching it. It was a good video, actually. You should do some more. Why not get some more videos out there, Kev? Come on, chop. Right, okay, right. I'm getting totally distracted here. Totally distracted. Totally distracted. But it's absolutely fine because I'm enjoying this. It's a fun stream. It's been a weird week, like I say. It's not been a normal week for me. It's been a strange one. With my breakup and that, but it's all been amicable, so that's what's made it extra weird. Like I should be angry, but I'm not, because I don't have anything to be angry about. It's kind of the right thing, and I'm kind of happy with it. We're both happy with it. The boost train is good, but people are assuming friends will band together to boost it themselves. Have you looked at the Solidity language? No, I haven't. What is a Solidity language? Thank you very much for the follow Ike234, the cheer SP175, and the cheer as well, Nicomo. Thank you very much, guys. Appreciate it. What break? Oh, my girlfriend of 8 years, 9 years. I don't know. It's something like that. 8 or 9 years. We broke up just over the weekend, but it was it was just. I think it was something that was on the cards. It was just not. It wasn't a surprise, really. I think we both knew it was coming, and we just decided that it was probably best if we just kind of stayed friends and just didn't try and be in a relationship. It's fine. It's absolutely fine. I mean, it's absolutely fine. To be honest, in both our eyes, not much has changed. It really hasn't changed very much. We still, we still chat every day. We still talk to each other. It's just there's no there's no obligations anymore. So it's actually taken a weight off both of our shoulders. I think it's been good for us. So kids are always the last to know. Yeah, it's really not that big a deal, honestly. It really isn't that big a deal. It's fine. We'd already moved apart anyway. We'd already got to the point where. So when I moved to Stevenage, In fact, I've never told you guys this. So when I moved to Stevenage, I moved to a separate place from her. So we used to live together for it's probably about 8 years. I think we moved to separate places because we were already having kind of problems. But it was more about kind of being in each other's company over lockdown. Kind of really drove us to kind of get annoyed. So we kind of moved into different places, which is fine. I mean, we're very close. In fact, she's, and this is the weird thing. This is why it's good that we're amicable about it. She's potentially moving to the flat next door. She's moved into a place. It's kind of hellish. She's having problems with it. She's been there 2 months. The plumber's been round about 5 or 6 times, I think, to fix the hot water. She spent at least half of that time with no hot water. She almost had a fire there when the washing machine set the RCD switch off. So the washing machine started smoking and set the RCD switch off. Could have been a fire if it wasn't wired correctly. And judging by the plumbing, I wouldn't have surprised if they hadn't been wired properly. So she's moved. She's currently about half a mile away. She's about 10-minute walk, if that. And she's potentially moving to the flat next door because that came up for rent fairly soon. So thank you very much. God, more cheers as well. Doxter, thank you very much for the bits. Appreciate it. Hope she wasn't the pixel artist. No, unfortunately not. Pixel artist is something I desperately need, and I don't have one. Oh, cool. There we go. We got a boost. Thanks, guys. I don't know what that means. I don't know if that means we get more people coming to the stream or what. I do not know. But thank you, everybody, and anybody that comes along in the next few minutes. I appreciate it. I don't know. I honestly do not know what that means. So you get 100 recommendations. Oh, okay, cool. 25,000 bits. It's all you've given, Doxter. Wow, I didn't see that. Where does it say that? How do you know that? Oh yeah, it tells you what badge you got. Wow. Okay. That's kind of cool. That is kind of cool that people come along. But yeah, it was it was an amicable breakup. We're still very good friends, and we will be very good friends. We're still going to do lots of things together. In fact, I'm going out this weekend, and she's coming with me as well. So it's not really going to change very much. It's just that we no longer kind of have relationship obligations to each other. So it's more of kind of really good friends. So. And I'm perfectly fine with that. That's why I was, as much as I didn't want to stream on Saturday, I was kind of okay. I wasn't too bad. I just wanted to get drunk a little bit and just kind of forget about things. So anyway, enough of my private life. You guys don't need to know about that. Okay, so let's check what we're doing here. Okay, so we're checking now if we've collided on the X register. So at the moment we're only checking the X. So all we have to do now is we just need to compare this value. In fact, I've got this in completely the wrong place. This should be up here. There we go. Because it needs to be part of this loop. Otherwise, why are we doing it? So we need to compare this value to the enemy default width times 2. So the reason we need to compare it by times 2 is because if you think of two rectangles colliding, if you've got a rectangle that's 16 pixels wide, another rectangle that's 16 pixels wide, and you touch them together and start sliding them over each other, there's actually not just 16, because if you move this one 16 pixels, it will just sit on top of that one. If you move it another 16 pixels, it moves off. It's actually twice the width. So there's a whole, if you put them both together, there's at least 32 pixels where they can collide with each other. It's actually 30 because if they're next to each other, they're not actually touching, they're not colliding at that point. They're just right next to each other. And getting drunk on stream isn't like, I'm not drunk. What are you on about? I'm not drunk. I'm perfect. Hey, I'll be honest with you, right? If any other streamer can code 6502, good. That's my go-to word. Whoever typed that in, that's my go-to word. I always do raise and thong, and it got me a three-stepper on Wordle today. No, yesterday. What did I get today? It was 4 today. If any other coder who's drinking can do this, then I'll accept that I'm drunk. But I don't think they can. So I'm not drunk. Tangent. What was I saying? Yeah. Shh, Andy. Shh. You're supposed to be a mod. Keep it secret. Okay, so enemy with times 2. Oh, I mean, I watch Pay Money Wubby, and he just gets pissed and stoned half of the time. I mean, great stream, but if that's a thing, then we're all screwed. Oh, that was a bad word to go for. That was a bad word to go for. Although it did confirm some of the letter positions, I guess, but oh god, come on. Come on, AI. Not AI, come on, game. I want it to beat you. Right, okay. So we need to compare it with that. If it's less than that, then there's no collide. So we'll do BCC. Actually, no, we'll do... sorry, if there is a collide if we're less than that. So if BCC, player collide. Otherwise, we do the loop. And then at the very end of the loop, we jump to no player collide. Okay, so we're only checking the... Oops, there we go. We're only checking the X register at the moment, but you can see here we've got this bra, so we need to use this bra and change it to basically always loop. So if BCC jumps to here, then we know that we can always jump back to the beginning of the loop if we do BCS. So if we do BCS, it will jump back to here. No player collide should actually not be there. It should be here like that, so we don't need that jump. Okay, right, so this should check the X register. So what's going to happen here now is that the moment any enemy gets into the same X position as us, so anytime that they're in the same kind of X location as us, we're going to die, which means we should die pretty much straight away because they're all kind of pretty much where we are. Hopefully there's a little bit of a gap and we can see it happening. Play collide. I forgot to put the plus in. Play collide. There we go. Although I'm not banking on it. Let's have a catch up with chat. What are you guys saying? Oh, you're still on the... Oh, did you get it? Inter. Oh, okay. I don't know if you got it. Did you get it? I don't know if you got it. Ooh. Hey, Jamie. Welcome to the stream. How you doing? I'm quite drunk, but I'm still going to have more rum. Still no one turned up. Oh, God. Oh, did you win again with the word? Right, that's it. Actually, also, Coda, do you have... I assume you have a set of words in it, right? Are you using the... I guess you're using the actual official words, right? How easy would it be to to check how difficult, like is there can you work out the probability of guessing a 5-letter word versus guessing a 6-letter word? Does it make a difference between is there a way to do that, or is it, I guess you've set it up for 5-letter words, isn't it? So yeah. Hey Jamie. Oh, by the way, Jamie, send me a message regarding the games, if like how you want to do it, sort of thing. Really eager to kind of to pump up my collection. I'm 2 slots away from filling one column of the shelf. So look at this. You can see it. It takes ages for the camera to update. You can see I've got down at the bottom down there. I've got 2 more rows to go, and then I've filled that entire column with PS3 games, which will be 200 PS3 games. So it's going quite well. Oops, have I knocked the camera out of alignment? Cool, thank you, Jamie. I'm quite drunk. You should probably just ignore me. Do what you want. Nice shelf. I want that. Yeah, I need to get more on it. I'm getting another. I'm getting another 2 shelves for this side, but I worked out I could fit 5 on that wall if I set up like a library. So I may do the same on this side as well, and could put, it would be 4 on this side. So it'd be 4 on this side, 9 on that side, which would give me between 4,000 and 5,000 games on it, which is quite a lot, really. My target is 8,800 games, and I'm at 560, so I've got quite a way to go yet. But are we playing Wordle? No. Old School Coder managed to get it with. Actually, I mean, if that was the word, that's quite a tricky word to get it on. Yeah, so there you go. We died there. So if I move over here, I'm not going to die straight away. I know I did because it moved. Move out of the way. Right. Oh no, I'm still dying. Why am I still dying? Oh no. Okay, I'm dying all the time. So there's something not quite right there. Let's check that. Okay. In that case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the start position for the enemy. So I'm going to move the screen up 1. So our position is, this is 22. So this is 34. So we want to move to 24 or 18 in hex. And we want to change the start position of the player to be a little bit over to the left. At the moment, it's kind of quite far over here. So we're going to move kind of over here and probably down a little bit as well, I'd say. This will start us on the correct screen, but we won't be in line with the other sprites. So we'll be able to see if the X position checks are wrong. And I think they are wrong because we're obviously getting something completely incorrect here, but we'll be able to start working out what it is. SP guessed it. Oh, very cool. Oh, there we go. Yeah, look, we're fine. So if I start moving, oh no, I can't get through the passable areas. Okay, tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to knock it back 1. Thank you very much, Andy. They want to move it back 2 hours. Wait. Do you want to move it back 2 hours? So, what do you mean forward 2 hours? Oh God, I don't know. It's maths. I can't do maths when I'm drunk, so it's not going to happen. Blah 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 blah. So let's move the player over to it. Right. So now we're going to start on the previous screen. Now it's going to be really dodgy on this screen because we're going to start with all the bullets and stuff, but all the mines and crap. But I think we're going to have to. Oh, you're starting your ass. Oh, okay. I see what you mean. 2 hours isn't too bad though. I'll stay up. I'll stay up for another 2 hours if you do. Well, I challenge you. I got a whole bottle of rum here. I can go for another 2 hours. Gauntlet thrown. Oh, there we go. It's all right. Oh, 4-hour meeting. All right. Okay, let's be different. I'm not going to stay up for 4 hours. Connect 4 fatigue. Is he driving you mad? You know, if do you need to, if you want to have a chat about anything there in that Alta Coda, let me know. If there's anything I can help you with, I'm absolutely fine to kind of give you some assistance on it because I'm really intrigued to see what you've got on or if it's just a case of like you're just trying to wrangle what you already know about AI into a language you're not fully familiar with, then there's probably not an awful lot I can do. But Andy, mate, shall I take a Jackbox break? Hey, Warlock. Yeah, I will play. Oh shit! No, I'm not streaming this weekend. I'm not going to do it tonight, but I will. The next time I play Jackbox, we're gonna play Jackbox 7 and 8 as well. So, so we'll definitely be doing that. Yeah, I'm gonna get. So you guys, I said I was gonna get 7 and 8 maybe, because the stream income was not great the month before. I should not really talk about stream income because then you lot start freaking donating and stuff, and I don't want you to do that. You know, these streams have always been free. There's nothing about what I do is paid for. The only reason it's paid for in Patreon is because those PDFs took me fucking ages. And that's the only reason it's there. I'm absolutely fine with you donating. That's absolutely fine. I'm fine with you cheering and stuff, but I don't ever want to feel like I'm begging for stuff. So, so I said what I'd do is I'd get 7 and 8 as a thing because you guys donated quite a lot on the last stream, so I'll gladly do that. Okay, so you can see here when I get in line with that one, it explodes. So it is correct. I can't get past that without dying, so the X is probably right. So let's add the Y into this as well. So basically, we're going to do the same thing again, but instead of doing the half first. Oh, actually, I just realised this is wrong, and the reason this is wrong is because we're using half values. Because we're using half values, this isn't actually these values. This needs to be half of these values. So this needs to be divided by 2, and this needs to be without the time series. So both of those need to be divided by 2. So this should behave exactly the same now. The reason we were seeing an explosion on the other side is because without halving it, we just kind of extend the sprites out so they're a bit longer. The left-hand side stays still, but the right-hand side stretches out. So it was like the sprites were 32 wide, which meant no matter where we were kind of hiding over there, we were still overlapping. So, missing bracket. Thank you very much. Who said that? Who got that first? SP got it first. Well done, SP. That's 5 points. I smell 5 a.m. You did indeed, and that's exactly what's going to happen. SP, well done. 5 AMK points. Let me drop that in there. There you go. Thank you very, very much indeed. Well spotted. Super fast as well, guys. Super fast. Actually, that was it. Well, it came through as SP first on mine, and you're well ahead, Nicamo. So, as I say, I apply Andy rules to you at this point. So, yeah, at this point, you have to work a little bit harder. I say I don't know how far ahead you are. I don't know how far ahead you are. I have to look. Yeah, you guys are really good at this. Actually, it's really impressive. I wish I had you while I was at work doing stuff. Like if I was coding something, I was doing Spring Boot stuff today at work. It was driving me mad. I'm not very familiar with Spring applications in Java, so I had to kind of look up all the annotations and stuff. I didn't really have a clue what was going on. I could have really done with being in chat, to be honest. Yeah, see, there you go. That's perfect. See, I have to get. I'm in, but because that isn't coming right up to me, I'm fine. If I nudge in a little bit more, still fine. And actually, I kind of like that there's a little bit of leeway here. Oh, actually, there's too much leeway. Oh, there we go. Oh, I know why that is. That's because enemy default width plus player. Wait. What did we have here? Divided by 2. Is that right? That should be right, actually. No, that is right. I think that's right. I like there being a little bit of freedom. I don't like games that have pixel perfect collision where just like you've got a little antenna that's sticking out the top and there's a tentacle sticking out of the enemy, and if those two just have one pixel that touch, then you're dead. I don't like that. So I don't mind there being a little bit of kind of overlap between those two things. You still have to. I know Spring. We're living it now. Yeah, Spring is. I mean, I get it. I get how it works. I've always known roughly what it is. I just never really used it to a lot, and I had to do a security code review of a tool today, and it was just driving me mad because there were just little things that I didn't quite understand about Spring. Like having never written anything myself in Spring, I didn't understand how everything joined together. Like how all these classes were joined together. They didn't seem to be importing each other. And what I realized is actually Spring takes all those classes and it writes a little wrapper around them that joins them all together. I didn't realize that's something I didn't realize until today. So that was a bit of a revelation for me, and some of the annotations as well. I'd seen the annotations loads looking through code, but I'd never really thought much about them. But today I really had to learn about the different annotations, what they do. So yeah, such is my job, to be honest. This is what happens when you do kind of white box penetrating testing. You get given a repo. It could be in any old language. It doesn't matter if you know it or not. You just get told, here you go, here's a piece of code. Can you check it, make sure it works? And it generally it seems. I mean, well, actually, no. Our stuff is probably quite a lot of Spring, but I've never really had to deal with it very much. But yeah. Anyway, Spring's quite cool. Actually, I'm not a big fan of Java, but Spring Boot actually looks kind of good. It kind of takes some of the complexity out of setting things like setters and getters up and REST APIs and stuff, and makes it kind of nice and succinct, nice and simple. Because any language you work in, right? If you use setters and getters, they're a cumbersome thing, right? You create a private member variable. You create a little getter function. You create a little setter function, and you always use the same piece of code. It's almost a template piece of code, right? Minimum like 6 lines. You just keep using the same block of code, and you're just changing one variable in it somewhere, maybe adding an assertion in there or something. But you're not changing very much. It's very templatable. Yet we never do it. And Spring is taking that and templating it, which is nice. So all you have to do is annotate with bean or whatever like that, and it makes every private variable have a setter and a getter and stuff like that. So it's kind of cool. I like it. I mean, I wouldn't write anything in it. I'd use Node, but it's good that it exists. And now I understand it a bit more. So yeah, I still prefer C# for my memory managed languages. Wish for ages C++ would do that. Yes, I wish JavaScript would do that as well. JavaScript being a dynamically typed language, makes things like getters and setters a real pain in the ass. I mean, they do have getters and setters, but there isn't really a proper way to annotate in a way that would generate those. I mean, you could probably do it with some kind of clever transpiling stuff. You could probably make some kind of subset of JavaScript which would take the place of it. I mean, you could do it. If you had a clever build system, you could probably do it. But yeah, the way Java works and the way that you can use those annotations means it does work quite well in it. JavaScript setters and getters are a pain in the ass. C++ setters and getters, again, pain in the ass. TypeScript does have setters and getters, but again, you have to write the functions. The thing that makes Spring Boot really nice, not Spring Boot. Spring Boot's a little bit more, but the thing that makes the Spring framework really nice is that you can just write a one line in front of your class, and it makes all the private variables in that class have setters and getters. So you can create a class which is supposedly got public accessed variables, but you want setters and getters. So you might want like assertions and stuff like that. But you can do it with one line instead of like 6 for every variable, which is what you normally do with these languages. So yeah, build system. But I mean, Java it's the same with JavaScript as well. Java and JavaScript have been around so long, and they're trying so hard to maintain retrofitted kind of compatibility, so you can still use kind of versions from fucking eons ago. That you kind of have no choice but to do this a lot of the time. That's why actually with the game framework for the Wordle and stuff, I've got an example of using React without a build system, which is kind of something I'd never done before, but I was kind of glad that I could do it. Anyway, let's carry on. So, did you get 5 AMK? It isn't shown in the league. Okay. Oh man, I cannot see that. Oh, it's not, is it? All right, let me add those in. No problem. We can't have you not getting the points, man. All right, there you go. You should show up. Let me know if you don't show up on the next one. If not, then I'll have to make a note and add it next time. And my cat has come and sat on my notepad. So I hope I don't have to make any more notes because my cat is now asleep on my notepad. Hello. Hello. Oh, okay. You're just going to immediately roll over and want a tummy rub. I don't trust you, though. You're a scratcher. Tummy rub for you is a gamble. Yeah, I'm not going to take that gamble. Sorry, cat. I don't trust you. Was it there? Was it there? It's a bit of a bug if it's not. Okay, so I just want to look how. I mean, I have done. Oh, it says 10 now. Oh well, you got extra points. You got paid extra because of the bug, so that's fine. Okay, so I want to just check how kind of how bad this padding is on this. Again, we can change this by upping the padding up and down. Oh no, look, I can go right through it there. Oh no, there we go. I don't think that's right. Okay, there's something quite wrong with this. So let's have a think about this. I'm not surprised because it's a bit of maths. So we take our position, we subtract the player half position. So this is going to give us a value. So let's go through this. So now we have a value, if we've collided, would be between minus 15 to 15. So we're going to round this by adding, we want to add the player width. Let's just not add the player padding to this right now, right? So if we just add the enemy width, that's going to give us a value from 1 to 31. We're doing a check to see if we're less than the default width. So the default width times 2. Yeah, okay. So default width is 16. So the default width would be default width times 2 is 32. We're dividing these values by 2 because we're using half values. So this should be right. This looks correct. I don't know what might be wrong here, but this looks correct. Let's try it without that padding in. It's probably to do with the padding. I'm probably add it when I should be subtracting. Not out yet. Is this the A500 Mini? Oh, do you know what? I'm going to use what little platform I have just to say, please don't buy the A500 Mini. Save your money. Go and buy a real Amiga. Just don't. If you can't afford a real Amiga, buy a Raspberry Pi. Buy a Raspberry Pi 400. Comes with a keyboard. You can plug a mouse in it. You can emulate the Amiga. And you can probably do it better than the device that you're going to get. Please don't give that idiot more money. He's a horrible patent troll. He doesn't deserve any money. Please spend your money on people who do deserve it. People like the Raspberry Pi Foundation, who do wonderful things to computing across the world. Don't give it to somebody who's just going to use it to buy more patents so that he can troll more and shut people down, and just don't do it at all. The Pi 400 is a great piece of kit. In fact, let me show you. Those who haven't seen it. Okay, it doesn't look like an Amiga, right? It doesn't look like an Amiga, but it is a great piece of kit. It's a keyboard. It's got a Raspberry Pi in it. You've got all the I/O section. You've got the where is it? Yeah, you've got all the I/O section there. You can still it works like a Raspberry Pi. In fact, it's a Raspberry Pi 4 that's slightly boosted. It's a little bit faster than a Raspberry Pi 4, and this is this is going to be running better than anything the Amiga 500 can do, and you can run whatever the Amiga emulator's called. I think it's called WinUAE. I don't know if that works on the Raspberry Pi, but I know for a fact you can use Amiga emulators on these, and it's really good for it. And you will get ADF support out of the box, which you don't get with the A500 Mini. And if you get bored of the Amiga, you can run other stuff on it as well. This will run a Dreamcast emulator. I'd like to see the the A500 Mini run a Dreamcast emulator. It's not going to. But most of all, you are not. Oh, Pi Amiga. Okay, not you. Oh, because WinUAE is Windows, right? The great thing about this is you support a company which actually gives a lot to charity. They do a lot for developing countries. The Pi Foundation is well known for kind of helping kids in developing countries to have computers. Things like the Pi 400. The Pi 400 is a great desktop computer as well. You don't necessarily have to use it as an emulator. You can use it as a desktop computer. And they do wonderful things across the world for that. On the other hand, giving your money to the Amiga 500 Mini gives your money to Retro Games Limited, which is has one of their people as Paul Andrews, who is a very well-known patent troll. He did the C64 and the C64 Mini and C64 Maxi, and he's very well known for being a complete fucking arsehole online. And I have no shame in saying that. I do not care what people think about it. He is an absolute arsehole. He buys up patents and copyrights for things that he thinks he can buy. In fact, in a lot of cases, I don't even think he owns them. He just claims to own them and shuts people down. So what you can't say is, yes, read what Andy Magic Knight says there. I completely agree with it. He is exactly that. Here's a little inkling into the sort of things he involved in. Do you remember the ZX Spectrum Vega? The little handheld that they screwed everybody over with and nobody got what they wanted, and the few people that did got what they wanted got a very shoddy device? That's him. That's the same guy. The guy that you're buying the Amiga 500 Mini off is the same guy that made the Vega. So just beware. Milking retro fans. And you know what you get is essentially a Pi Zero with a shit version of an emulator on it as well. He's basically selling you Vice when you buy the C64. Do not buy one of them. He's an absolute arsehole. If you want to look into him a little bit more, look up his spats with Octavius King or Octavius Queen, whatever she's called now, on Twitter and YouTube. He basically tried to shut her down because he claimed to own the IP for Horace. Just watch out. Where can you get that one? So most Raspberry Pi stockists will be able to sell you these. It is an official Raspberry Pi product. You can see on the back there. It is an official Raspberry Pi product. So generally, if they sell the Pi 4, the Raspberry Pi 3 and 4, they will sell these as well. They're not much more as well. I think they're maybe $10 or $20 more than a Raspberry Pi 4, and you get an actual keyboard with it as well. And it's a great little keyboard as well for a keyboard with the butterfly keys on it. I actually find it quite useful. I actually prefer this to the Mac keyboard as well. I think it's a much better keyboard than the Mac one. The keys have a bit of bite on them, which I don't think the Mac keyboard has. It's quite soft, the Mac keyboard. This has a little bit of bite on it. So one of the best kind of flat, low-profile keyboards I've used. Better than this laptop. And this laptop's like a $3,000 laptop, £3,000 laptop, and it's still better than that. So it's a very nice 80 to 100. Okay, so it is all right. So it's about $30 on, but it is faster than the Raspberry Pi 4 as well. So definitely worth getting. Apple makes shite keyboards, yeah. And if Andy says that, then it's serious, because Andy knows his shit. Andy knows his shit, and he's a big fanboy when it comes to Apple. Yeah, the Apple keyboards are horrible, absolutely horrible. I've never been a big fan of low-profile keyboards. I like mechanical keyboards. That's why I've got this custom-made. I'm very proud of this. I don't know if I think I showed you this guy. So this is the MKB87 PCB from Japan, from China, with some custom ACO keycaps on, which look very, very Commodore retro. So that's why I like my keyboards to be like that. All right, let's check this Collision. I show it No, I don't show it 5,000 times everything. Shut up, Andy. God damn it, where's my minus 100 AMK points button? I need that, don't I? Definitely need to get that. Okay, so it does look like it is taking the padding into account, because I definitely can't get as close. I think I was doing it wrong before. Yeah, I think I was... Let's have a think about this. My brain is not doing the maths right. So if I'm adding the default width, right? So if I move my two sprites, so I've got two sprites and I move them. I do the subtraction, so now I'm between 0 and 32. But if this sprite, the one I'm subtracting, which one am I? No, subtracting the player. So the player is actually 3 pixels across. So I need to subtract more. So it is plus. It should be plus here. Okay, let's try it. Player. I'm sure I did this before. Hang on, let me undo. Okay, what if I do minus here? Let's try it from both angles. It's probably the way to do this. Oh yeah, the Pi 400 also has so you have 3 USBs on the back of this, which is actually one more than the Pi 400. Oh no, the Pi 400 the Pi 400 has 4, doesn't it? Just one less actually. But you do have 2 USB 3s and a USB 2 on the back, so you can plug kind of what you want into it as well, and an SD card slot as well. It's a really good device. I definitely recommend this over even the C64 Mini or the C64 Maxi. Definitely get one of these. And honestly, if you're spending the money on a C64 Maxi, just buy a C64. Yes, you will have to buy a few extra things to add on, but you will appreciate the hardware so much more. You'll spend maybe 20-25% more than you would pay for the C64 Maxi, but you will get the real thing. You will get a real SID. You will get real CPUs. You will not be running on an emulator. You will be able to load software into it using real devices. The joysticks that you buy for it will plug in through a DB9 socket, not some USB crappy Competition Pro wannabe. It will be real joysticks, real DB9, Cheetah 125s, Competition Pro, Zip sticks, or you'll be using real devices. Please do not give those idiots money. Yeah, it can be overclocked as well, because the other thing as well is the layout of it on that board means it does stay cooler as well. So you can actually get a little bit more out of it than you would with the normal Pi 400, with the normal Pi 4. Pi 4 you can do quite well if you put heat sinks and fans on it, you can do quite well. Right, let's stay there, see what happens. A little bit more. Okay, that seems like it might be right. Okay, let's do the Y side and let's do some comparisons around it. So, okay, so we want to do the Y side. So let's think about the Y. Okay, let's just get rid of that. Let's copy this and make it work for the Y. Okay, so Y. We don't need to do any of this. What we do need to do is just take the Y pos. So we don't need any of this crap here. We can just get rid of that. Need some more room. Which also means we don't need to do the divide by 2 here, so we can get rid of the brackets on this, and we can do a times by 2 on here. So this is exactly the same kind of calculation that we're doing down here, but instead of using a half value, which we're using here, we're just using the full value, because we don't need the player Y, player Y, storage in GTEP2. I don't know why I call it store in GTEP2. It should be stored in player Y. There we go. The reason why we do the Y first is, again, I've said this before many times. Let me explain it again. If you've got a rectangle and you want to detect if 2 things are hitting, and you detect that by checking the X positions and the Y positions, if you just check the Y positions, there is more chance of a Y position being level with the other Y position than there is for an X, because there's less Y to check, right? The Y is only 256, the X is 320 or whatever it is. Actually, it's 320 by 240. So you've got 320 pixels that way, 240 that way. That means you're more likely to be colliding vertically than you are horizontally. So if you check the vertical collision first, that means there's more chance that you will not be colliding in that direction. So you can quickly jump out and not bother checking the X, because you only want to check as much as you need to check. So you need to check X and Y, right? But if you check X first, then the chances are you're probably going to be checking Y again at some point. Actually, no, that actually means we probably should check X first, because it's the other way around, right? So there's less chance of you hitting on the X than there is on the Y. So we'll do the X first. That's right. So yeah, like I say, there's more chance of you hitting on the Y, but that means there's less chance of you hitting on the X, right? If there's less chance of you hitting on the X, that's what we care about. We want to break out of it as quick as we can. So by checking the X first, we say, okay, there's the 320 positions, there's only 32 of them. So 1 in 10 positions that you can be in of the things is going to collide. Whereas on the other axis, you've got 32 out of 240, so it's 1 in 8 or so, roughly. Actually, it's less than that. It's like 1 in 7.5 or something like that. A bit more, maybe. Yeah, about 1 in 7.5. So you can see there's more chance of you colliding on the Y than there is on the X. But that means inversely, there's less chance of you. There's less chance of you. There's less chance of you collide on the X than there is on the Y. So it's the inverse, right? So we check X first, because what we want to do is break out. We want to check if we've not collided as quick as possible. And so we're going to do the X first. So by doing the X first, we check, have we collided? No, break out, get out of there. The only downside to that is we do have to do these extra things. So let's just have a look how much we have to do. So we'll do 2, 5, 7, 12 cycles. So we have to do actually no, less, because we don't need to do that. Oh, that's done every time. Okay, so we need to do 2, 4, 9 cycles. 9 cycles every time, but we break out sooner. I think that's probably fine. If that was like 16, I'd probably think about moving it, but yeah, we want to get out early. Exactly, yeah. Yeah, we need to invert it because X is less chance. Yeah, I was thinking the other way around. It's important to think about that as well. Anytime you're going to check 2 things that can break you out of a loop, always try and put the thing that's more likely to happen first. So in this case, because X is very unlikely to collide, that means it's more likely to not collide. So we want that to be the first one. What is this tune? I kind of like this. It's a bit humper, but it is humper. I thought it was. Yeah. There's some more rum in me. So I'm going to take a quick break because I kind of need to pee again. I might go a little bit later tonight. I'm enjoying myself. I'm enjoying the kind of the freedom, the company, everything. I'm kind of enjoying it. It's good. Someone needs to do an in-depth informative stream about the Pi 400. I think John, didn't you do some stuff about the Pi 400? I'm pretty sure you did. Does it have an off one? Seriously? If it does, I didn't bloody know it had. Oh shit! Yeah, it has as well on the function buttons. Do you have to? Surely you have to code that though. Surely that's not on by default. Surely the default, like, because that has to be dependent on the Linux distribution, right? Do you know what, John? Do you know what we need to do? Old school coder John, I don't care what I call you. We need to do a collab stream. We need to do something where we do something together at some point. We'll have to work it out. I don't know what we do, but maybe we should do something together. I think that'd be kind of cool. I'm not entirely sure how that would work, but we need to do something where I don't know how it would work. Stream where you drink together. That'd be good. Shannon makes a game and OSK converts it to C16. Oh, that'd be good. No, I think we should. I think we should do a team up because we have so much overlap with what we're doing. it kind of makes sense that I don't know what we do. We'll have to have a chat off stream at some point. I'll have a think a little bit about it, about what we can do. But I'm sure we can come up with something. I'm sure we can come up with something. Yeah, maybe it could be collaborative marathon stream. Maybe the charity stream could be a collab somehow. If you're available, like if you're able to kind of do that as well, it could be like you code one area, I code another area, and we kind of we have each other's stream on in the corner, or so. I don't know. We'll work something out. But yeah, I think it would be kind of cool to work on something like that, because I'd like to do that. I definitely would like to do that. I'll have a think about it. Let me have a think about it over the next couple of days. You have a think about it as well, and if we come up with something, that could be kind of cool. Half in dex, half in decimal. What's in decimal? There's nothing in decimal here. What are you on about? Oh, you mean the comments? Oh, god damn you. All right. You happy now? Actually, that's not right, is it? -1, -15. No, that's right. Okay. I'm really bad with minus numbers in hex. I can do positive numbers really well, but I can't do minus numbers in hex. Oh. Oh well, I'm doing it anyway. Thank you, Andy, for the bits. Appreciate it. For both. Oh my god, good. Blah, blah, blah. Oh god, you don't. That was when you said for fuck's sake they want to move it back. That was a cheer as well. Thank you, dude. You're wasted. Yeah, I'm wasted as well. Right, I tell you what, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna have a quick break. I'm actually gonna grab 5 minutes of fresh air as well. I think, and just go to the toilet and stuff. And I'm kind of running low on cider. I'm gonna go and raid my fridge, see if I think I've got a beer in there. I actually put. No one's done it tonight. I'm disappointed. The one time I did something slightly different on my commands, and none of you pressed it. I mean, come on! I spent time writing that. I thought about that. Yeah, well, I'll have a think about it, Ozzy, because I think we could do something. Maybe a nice charity marathon stream between us. If we could work out a way of doing that, that would be kind of cool. We pick a charity, something we both kind of believe in, and just make a game between us. I'm pretty sure in can you imagine two of us spending 8 to 12 hours on a game? I mean, obviously you'd have to be ready to donate 12 hours to something, but if you imagine us doing that, it would be two of us doing it would be incredible. We'd be able to get so much done. We can work on different parts each, and you could be off doing enemy AI. I can be doing scrollers or whatever, whatever it might be. I mean, I don't know what it would be or what the split would be. No. Dot Cosmos 2 is a huge game. I wish I could tell you everything that was in Dot Cosmos 2, because honestly, the journey I've got in my head of the game is freaking amazing, and I think it will be amazing when people see it. It just needs to appear. It's about 20-30% complete, I'd say. There needs to be so much more done to it. So anyway, I'm going to take a couple of minutes break now, guys. I will be back. I'm going to go a little bit later than normal. I think like I say, I don't think I've got a meeting till a bit later on tomorrow. So I'm not too fussed. It is with the supplier that I called the wrong name, so I'll probably call them the wrong name again. But it is in the afternoon, so that's fine. All right, cool. I'm going to take 5 minutes, guys. I'll be right back. I'll be as quick as I can. Be right back. I'm back. All right, press the stop. Yeah, there we go. Just in time for the race. Cool. Ooh. I've missed loads of chat because it paused. Yeah, whatever. Let me just catch up a little bit with the chat, just in case I missed something, because I think I paused it at the wrong place, which is kind of bad. We'll chat off stream when I'm less drunk anyway. OSK, so oh no, I didn't miss anything. I just paused it at the wrong time. That's all right. That's all right. All right. Her Majesty the Shelf Destroyer has taken to sulking upstairs. She doesn't want to come downstairs. So you missed utter gibberish. Yeah, I think so. I'm really drunk. The fresh air didn't help. It made me more drunk, if anything. That's fine. Oh, do you know what I didn't get? I didn't get a beer. Hang on. I will be right back. You can stare at my shelves for a minute. I will be right back. I knew I had a beer. Look at that. Kind of Heineken. Oh. Jump onto the shelves while he's not looking. Yeah, Doc Cosmos Game Boy is up there. There it is. It's actually a better view, this. It's a better view of the shelves up here. I did have the lights moving, but when I was testing the camera before, it was really bad. It was like super bright. In fact, I'll show you. If I set the lights. So I have some like weird modes for the lights that I can set. I've done so little code on this stream. It's ridiculous. I'm just enjoying myself. That's all it is. So like if I set like that, it looks really bright. Look at it. It looks like it's on fire, for God's sake. And I can set things like siren. To really freak out the kind of the not rights in the vicinity. Fireworks and stuff. But I didn't want to leave these on because they're a little bit too kind of mental. So I thought I wouldn't bother putting these things on because they're a little bit too bright. So, but what I might do, there is an API for this thing, so I might actually set it so that it uses the API at some point. So you guys can change it. I come bearing Seabrook beef crisps as well. Because gonna code a Python bot, probably for Discord or something. I don't dare stream. Come on, stream, Duckster. We want to see you stream. It's not quite empty. It's now. Right, now let's get back to this. So we're doing the Y position here. So we don't care about MSB. So everything's right here. This should work now. Okay. So it gives it a try. So it's taken me the entire stream to write what accounts to that much code. 53 lines of code, of which 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 if you count the label, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 lines of it are junk. 20, yeah. So yeah, not many lines. Yeah, just enjoy the moment. I am enjoying it. It's good. This game is taking forever to. I mean, it's not going to matter if one stream is kind of very unproductive or not. As long as when I finish the stream, the player dies when I hit things. I don't care if that's the only thing I've achieved all night. So got way too many issues with yourself. That's fine. I must admit, when I started streaming, I was very anxious about it. It was a very difficult decision to make. I look back on it now and I think, oh, absolutely, it was the right thing to do. Oh no! See, I died straight away there, so I don't think that's right. Let me wait for that to get right up to the top. Okay. No, see, I'm still dying, so there's still something not right here. So what it should be doing is it should be not game loop enemies. Here we go. So if we okay, so this is the problem. If we're in the right position, it's colliding straight away, but it's checking the X and it's colliding straight away. What we should be doing is not colliding if we're not in position. If we collide straight away, then it's going to collide as soon as the X position collides. What we should be doing is the opposite. We should be doing, at least on this bit here. So when we check the X, we should be saying, are we in the right position? If we're not, if we're far apart, then we've not collided. We don't need to do the Y bit. So that's what we should be doing. But what we were doing instead is saying, we're in the right position, X-wise. You know, these two are vertically, if you draw a line vertically, because they're in the same, roughly the same X position, they've collided. Or they're potentially collided. We need to check the Y, but they're potentially collided. We were jumping straight to the collide. We just need to flip that on its head, and we need to say, okay, instead of checking if we have collided, what we need to do is check if we've definitely not collided. So if we're apart like that, we've definitely not collided. It doesn't matter if this is anywhere here, we've not collided with this. Whereas if we're here, we could have collided, but we've only collided if we've hit here. So at this point, we need to check the Y position. So we need to make sure that we break out here if we've not. I hope that makes sense. I hope you can see my hands, and I hope it's not kind of random just hand movements. But that should be what we need to do. Evie, where's Floor? My cats have got weird names. So she's Evie. Come here, Evie. So called because apparently she looks like Eevee from Pokemon. Mia. Here we go. So this is Eevee because she looks like Eevee from Pokemon. Apparently, I don't know because I don't really do Pokemon. So yes, I know you don't like being picked up, do you? And then my other two are named after Nightwish band members. With oh, here she is. Hello, hello, Overlord Shelf Destroyer. Come here. Well, come here then. Don't just sit there looking at me. She's pissed off with me for some reason. I don't know. Well, Catherine told me she looks like Eevee, so that's why she's called Eevee. I think it's when she sits on the floor and she looks up at you. So there she is. Here is the Shelf Destroyer, aren't you? You the Shelf Destroyer. Give me a kiss. Give me a kiss. Hey, excuse me. Have a kiss. No. Okay, she really doesn't want to. Give me a kiss. Wow, she's blanking me a lot. She really doesn't care tonight. Hey, what's up with you? Are you upset? Are you upset because I banished you out of the room? Are you upset because you got spikes on your windowsill? She gets such preferential treatment as well. She really should be. She'll call her Glaceon. That's the ice variant of Eevee. Okay. I almost miss your two cats. I honestly, since living alone with them, like I say, as much as the breakup only happened this week, my moving on my own has happened in the beginning of January. That's something Sean did know. But yeah, I've had to deal with 3 cats on my own, and it's been interesting to say the least. They've been problematic, but she gets preferential treatment. So Floor is kind of the family favorite, if you like. So she's the one that's always getting the cuddles because she's the only one you can pick up and cuddle like that. So you saw her cuddling her, and she didn't really struggle to get down. The other two do not like being picked up. Whereas with Floor, you can pick her up and you can cuddle her, and she likes it. So she tends to get preferential treatment because of that, which amounts to basically in the middle of the night, to stop her running around and causing havoc, I invite her into my room and she comes and sleeps in my room. and she's perfectly happy to just come and sleep on the bed at my feet. She lies between my feet, wherever my feet are under the covers. She lies between them, and she's really quiet all night, which is nice. Alfie, oh Afroyak, you know Sean, right? You must do for saying Alfie. I mean, you can't possibly not know Sean by saying that. I think you were on the last stream, weren't you? Yeah, you. I was going to say, do I know you, Afrojack? Have I met you? I know I've met some of Sean's mates. Oh shit! Let's get out of this room. Fucking hell. Okay, so this collision should be pretty. Nope, not yet. Oh, we'll make that happen at some point. Oh, there you go. Look, that's totally wrong. That enemy is moving right through me and not killing me. So that should be killing me, and it's not. So there's something obviously going wrong here. All right. So can I die anywhere here? Is it completely broken? Yeah, it's completely broken, is it? I don't know what I've done there. I've got to the point now where I've got to do maths, and I've got to figure out maths, and I can't fucking do it when I'm drunk. Jesus. All right, let's have a look. All right, so we compare the X registers. If they're close together, then if we're less than that, then we go. Otherwise, we check the Y. Okay, so if we check the Y, this should be right. What the fuck? This should be right. Oh no, we need Y. But well, the Y pad shouldn't matter. Let's just take the Y. Let's just take this padding out of it. This shouldn't matter. This should be player Y pad. Oh, that's why. It's not building. This has got an error, and I haven't. Wait, what? What? This should not have compiled. This should not have built. Player pad must be a value, because this should be like that, and that should be a value up here somewhere. So that should be this. That should be 3, because we've got a padding of. Oh god, I keep pressing the wrong one. We've got a padding of 3 up here. You can see these 3 pixels height here. So the Y padding is 3, the X padding is 4. So it might work now. Let's try again with that padding. I don't know why that's working. Maybe there's a player Y pad. Somebody's going to correct me now, aren't they, about player X and Y? Duplicate label name. You got 2 X pads. All right. I'm going to give points to whoever said that first, because I feel like giving pads. Twice the same players thingy. Why not X? Oh god, who's this going to? Shouldn't that be player Y? SP? Oh no! Wait, Nightchild. Too many Y's. Copy past the bug. Nightchild, you earn 5 points. Well done. So these points, for those who don't know, these points earned Andy a Raspberry Pi retro machine last year. I don't have a picture of it, actually. Do I have a picture? Maybe I can find you a picture of it. Let me have a look. Oh god, I don't even know where that would be. Let me have a look in my photo. Let me have a look in my Google Photos. So last year I did a couple of kind of giveaways at Christmas. One was for the winner of the quiz, and one was for the winner of the MK points. So quiz you've already seen. Quiz is the thing that pops up every time I go for a break, pops up every half an hour or something like that. Whoever has the highest points on that wins a prize at the end of the year. Same with the AMK points. Now, AMK points are designed to encourage you to help me with the stream, which you are doing, which is really good. And last year I gave away Raspberry Pis set up in a nice little 3D printed case for both the AMK winner and the quiz winner. Just trying to find a picture of it now. So I printed some nice little, they're kind of like Mario cubes, I guess you could call them. Definitely based on the Mario question mark block. With a Raspberry Pi 4 in it, an SD card, and a few, like a fan in it as well, and a few things just to kind of basically give you a little retro gaming machine. Worth about probably, I'd say about 80 to 90 pounds. Oh, there we go. There's one. Oh, that's not the one. Oh, somebody's said, oh, I'll check in a minute. I'm sure you're going to give me an actual picture of the thing. Yeah, I don't have it actually. Hopefully, you've got the actual picture because I don't. For some reason, I don't have it there. Discord. All right, let's jump over to Discord. Discord. Welcome. No, general. There we go. There we go. Oh, look at that. Andy's very quick on the buzzer there. So yeah, if you check Discord, if somebody can post the Discord link, I'm sure you probably already have. Because it's going to be harder for me to do that. So if you just join Discord, if you've not already, you can see what was won last year. If you check in the general channel, you'll see what it is. Basically, it's a little kind of cube, 3D printed cube. So I've got a dual color 3D printer. Actually, I think I didn't print them in dual color. I think I printed them separately, white and green, and stuck them on with super glue. But it's a little kind of plastic cube that's got a Raspberry Pi 4 and a fan in it. With an SD card in it with all the games in it. So I gave 2 of those away last year, as well as I gave away a PlayStation 5 last year as well, which was not as enticing as I thought it would be. I thought there would be more people that came along for that, but I was perfectly happy to give it away because you guys had already paid for it. All the kind of donations you'd given to the stream, I managed to buy in like September. So Sean's birthday was in September. Sorry, no, November. God, what am I thinking? Sorry, Sean. I bought it in September, but his birthday was in November. But I bought I bought 2 PlayStations. I managed to buy 2 PlayStation 5s in September. Yes, I did. Yeah, I know. I'm drunk. Let me off, man. Let me off. God damn you. What's my birthday? Give me the date of my birthday. Go on, you've got 10 seconds. He's gonna do it now, like a bastard. Yeah. So yeah, he's not done it, has he? He's got to go and look it up. He's now on Facebook looking up when I started getting all. Yeah, exactly. Fuck you. Yours is November the 4th. So yeah. Yeah, exactly. I know when yours is. Do you know when mine is? Yeah, fuck you. Yeah, so I managed to earn enough through last year. Last year was really profitable for the stream. I gave pretty much 99% of it back through Mega 65 giveaways, which I will be doing again in the second half of this year. I just need to get back to doing Mega 65 code. At the moment, I'm just focusing on this. I want to get this out. 15. Thank you very much, SP. You beat my own son to knowing when my birthday was. Interestingly, the 25th of March is when one of my old friends' birthday was. You're in a league game at the moment. Whatever. Excuses, man. Excuses. So much personal information. Yeah, Good luck getting into any of my accounts. They've got 32 character passwords and 2-factor authentication, so good luck. If you don't program, there will be Cecconoid streams still at the end of the year. That's a good point, actually. How do you code the C65 assembler or FPGA? So, personally, I use assembly coding because I'm coding against whatever the FPGA state currently is in. The FPGA is in a currently pretty stable state, which is why they're going to release. There are people who are working on the FPGA, so there's a couple of streams that are going on the Mega 65 at the moment. So there's 2 kind of main streams, I would say. Probably, well, no, actually, there's kind of 3 mainstreams. So there are people who are working on third-party cores, if you like. So there is I forget his name now, Sai something or other. I can't remember his full name, but there are. So he's working on third-party cores. So one of the things he did was the Game Boy core. So he did a Game Boy core which you can load onto the Mega 65 and play Game Boy games on. Basically behaves exactly like a Game Boy. Then there is the what's called the closed ROM source, which is what Paul is working on mostly, and a few other people are donating to it here and there. That is the official kind of that's the ROM that you will get when you buy a Mega 65. So when you buy a Mega 65, it will load up into a C65 kernel, if you like. It's not quite a kernel. It's not quite the same. It works a little bit differently. Oh God. But that code is what he's working on. So he's working on how the device itself works. It's not quite the kernel. Like I say, it's not quite kernel work. It's actually how the VIC-4 chip. So the VIC-4 is a chip that's a simulated version of an advancement of the C65. So it contains all the functionality that the VIC-3 had, which is the 38th of June. God damn you, Sean. Yeah, so the code he's working on is basically mostly for the VIC-4. There is some other stuff that he's doing as well. So he's doing like floppy disk controllers and stuff like that. But essentially the work he does is when you get the Mega 65, that is what you're going to see. You're going to see this core functionality that's created. All the stuff I've done already on the Mega 65, all the stuff that the other developers have done, and there's some really good developers as well. I definitely recommend you go and check out the Mega 65 file host. There's some amazing stuff on there that people have done. A lot of it as well has come from this stream. You know, we tried last year very much to promote for the entire year Mega 65 development. So the stuff that came out of the competitions, so every other month we did a Mega 65 competition. The stuff that came out of their competitions will all work on the Mega 65. Also, to be honest, most of the C64 stuff will work on the Mega 65 as well. So if C64 Cecconoid would work on the Mega 65, yeah, absolutely, it would work on the Mega 65. It would need a little bit of kind of juggling around because the memory map isn't quite the same, but you would need a tiny bit of juggling around. But oh God, sorry, I need to be more crisp. Yeah, and then yeah, there's plenty of stuff. Just go and check it out. It's pretty good. The third kind of stream is the Open ROM, which is so one of the problems, and this kind of goes back to the stuff I was talking about the Amiga 500. Is there is this kind of patent troll stuff going on with Cloanto, who own the rights to the C65 ROMs and the C64 ROMs. So there's some kind of there's some dodgy. Well, actually, I don't think they own the C64 ROMs. I think they own the Amiga ROMs, and I think they own the C65. I don't think they own the C64 ROMs. But there's some dodgy areas there where so the people at Mega 65, the Mega 65 kind of foundation, has an agreement that if you buy a Mega 65, you have the rights to own the C65 ROM, the ROM that was used to launch the Commodore 65, which is basically what the Mega 65 ROM is based on. So the Mega 65 is this Commodore 65 with enhanced functionality. So you're using a Commodore 65 ROM that's been enhanced for the Mega 65. The problem with that is that means that somebody who makes a C65, so makes a Mega 65. So the kind of point of the Mega 65 is not just to create the hardware, but to create a framework in which you can build your own Mega 65. So you can buy one of these Nexus A7 boards, and you can build your own Mega 65, which is what we were doing last year. We gave away, I think we gave away like 13 or 14 of those last year. We gave away quite a lot. I mean, we're talking $3 or $4 worth of hardware last year. But these FPGA boards can do pretty much exactly what the Mega 65 can do. The Mega 65 is based on the FPGA chips that are used in those. And the thing is because they're bought outside of the Mega 65 license, you're not actually officially allowed to use a C65 ROM. So what you have to do is you have to download the official, well, not the official, but you have to download the freely available C65 ROM and patch it yourself manually, because you can't download the fully patched version. You have to patch it yourself in order to get around this license issue, and it's a bit awkward. So there's a person called I'm going to get his name wrong. I can't remember his name. God damn it! I'm gonna have to go and look it up. But there's a guy on the Mega 65 forum who's pretty much exclusively been working on. I'm gonna find it now. I'm gonna kick myself when I figure it out as well. He's not there right now. It's bit something or other. I know it's bit something. Just can't remember what. But basically, he's been exclusively working on creating a version of the kernel, if you like, that doesn't use any of the existing code. Bit shifter, that's it. Sorry, yeah, I knew it's bit something or other. I could never remember. So bit shifter has been basically recreating the C65 kernel from scratch. So he's been given a list of what it should do and where its entry addresses are, and he's been writing his own code. With no, he's deliberately not been looking at the actual kernel. So then he can create something which is, holds up in court as something which is completely original. It's a bit of a funny grey area, but the idea is eventually you'll be able to use this kernel instead of the official one, and that will kind of prevent any issues you might have if you've not actually bought a Mega 65. So, but yeah, that's kind of where the Mega 65 is. Right, let's figure these bugs out. All right, nom 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 nom. So I'm going to do probably about another hour, I think, maybe 45 minutes to an hour, and I'll stop. Like I say, I do have to get up in the morning. I am going to load my work thing up now, so I'm going to move it off screen because hopefully it's not too. There we go. Just so I can check my calendar, just in case I have a random meeting first thing in the morning. No, see, I don't have a meeting. Oh, in fact, it's a really clear. In fact, that's a really good day. That's actually about as good as I could expect. So 3:30 before I have a meeting. That's absolutely fine. Okay, so I might do an hour then. Hey, Cosmin, how's it going? Your name came up today, actually, Cosmin. I can't remember why. It will come to me, but your name came up today about something. God, I can't remember why at all. God damn it. More Kraken. Yeah, good idea. I've still got some left. Teams equals this. Oh, God, no. Teams is horrible. Teams is so bad. I tell you what, if you've got a MacBook, open up Teams on MacBook, open Activity Monitor so you can see what the CPU usage is, and then start a video chat with somebody and just watch as your CPU jumps to like 25-30% just on two people. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I feel like they do not give a shit about CPU usage at all. It's the worst thing in the world. Discord is one of the best. I think Discord is actually one of the best at video. But what they really do, what really annoys me about Discord, is they put the really good quality behind a paywall. So they make you pay for the top quality video. But the top quality video, when you use it, is ahead of everything. It's better than Zoom. It's better than Skype. It's better than Teams. It's better than Slack. It's better than all of them. It's so good. Yeah, Discord Nitro, exactly. It's behind Discord Nitro. Actually, I think we've actually got one step up. I think we're on the middle quality at the moment. Oh, here you go. Here's another picture of the thing. Let me share this one with you. This is another picture of the Raspberry Pi. I've done so little tonight. It's ridiculous. Anyone with the link can see it. All right, here we go. Here's another link for the Raspberry Pi. So this is what I gave away last year. We'll be giving away something similar to... oh, that's not working, is it? What's that about? We're giving away something similar this year. I don't know what it's going to be yet, but we will be giving away something. Create link. Oh, because I actually need to copy the link. That helps if I actually click copy. I've done tons just on the wrong project. Yeah. It's fine, I've had quite a lot of streams where I've done a lot, so it's fine that I'm a little bit behind on this one. Let's try that out with the new padding. Well, anyway, that picture there is of I think that's Steps. Actually, I think that's the one I sent to Steps. I can't really tell. If the right hand corner, which you can't quite see, was visible, I could tell you that it was steps or not, because it's the right hand corner warped slightly, so it's a little bit kind of warped on that corner. It's a nice little system. It's a nice little. It's like a little mini PC, but it runs everything. Anyway, yeah, and like I was saying, Discord is probably the best, but they put it behind a paywall, which is really fucking annoying. All right, okay, so we have got an issue where it's not actually picking up. So let's have a look why. So let's go back to let's turn the Y check off again, and let's see if it's actually working. So because I think it's just the Y thing that's not working here right now. Okay, which is this bit here. So let's just double check the Y. So load the Y pos, subtract the player Y, add these bits on. If it's less than that, then we've collided. Otherwise, go to the loop. All right, well, let's just remove this and do some checks. I promise on the next stream I will do a lot more code than I've been doing tonight. This is the first stream I've had since my breakup, so it's just kind of I'm just kind of enjoying the alcohol. I think that's what it is. Doesn't really mean much. Yeah, steps one, that exact one. I think that's exactly the one that steps one. Music is step too high. Let me just knock it down one notch then. Not by much. There you go. Yeah, just a tiny little bit. Right, let's get this cracking down. I've also oh, all right, that one hit. Wow. Oh, Jesus. I've also drunk more on this stream than I think I've ever drunk on a weekday stream. Break out the PS3. Oh, should I? I think I should. I mean, I'm not really coding, am I? Was it about your email account? No. It was. I think it was just about rock. Oh no, I know what it was. It was about Gauntlet, and that's a name that no one will know except Cosmin. We were talking about Gauntlet and how you'd take it out. So Caudle's a bitch. It took me all this time since you mentioned it to finish. It's hard, isn't it? Right? It's really difficult. Good. I'm glad I'm not alone. I'm glad it's a difficult thing because I tried it. I'm pretty good at Wordle, right? I can get 3 or 4 most times. I'd say, well, what's my Wordle record? I'd say it's probably mostly 4s and then split between 3 and 5s on like 1 or 2 6s. But Cecconoid's really hard, right? The wizard is about to die. Cecconoid is Wordle on steroids. Like, if you like Wordle, give Cecconoid a try. It's really difficult because you have to guess many words at the same time. Let me just see if I can turn the PS3 on and it comes through the capture card. Then I will give it a go and we'll. Oh God! Jesus Christ! Okay, so it's on. Now let me think. I do need to go and press something over here. Oh, it might be on actually. Let me just check. Yeah, it's probably a good idea actually because I'm not really.